Tonight on the Black Channel. It's been a long time coming, but the bill is coming due. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting super fortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel, and I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, when I began the Black Channel, I began this because I wanted to affect systemic change in order to combat systemic racism. And one of the things in particular that you have to be aware of in this environment is that when people started talking about reparations, I was the guy who took it beyond that. I took it to reparations across the board, because when you are dealing with systemic racism, I think that it would be letting a whole bunch of folks off the hook and not dealing. If you're going to deal with a systemic problem, then you have to address the system, not just one part of it. And while certainly you have to have the elective government to make these things work, they were not the only ones, and they are not the only ones who've capitalized on it. And that's something that needs to be focused on. All of the entities that still exist, all of them that have sat there and fed at the trough, all of them need to be brought in. As I've always said, your banks, your schools, your civic organizations, everybody needs to be brought in. Your telecommunication companies, everybody needs to be brought in and held to account. One of the things in particular that has always stood out for me is the NCAA and college athletics. It stands out to me because I've worked for the largest telecommunication companies on the planet, and I watched and witnessed firsthand as the Big Ten and SEC and the rest of them went from their revenues being calculated in hundreds of millions to billions of dollars. So quiet as kept, a lot of folks didn't recognize that when you had Jefferson Pilot and these other entities, when they had these television contracts, they were pretty much right up there with CBS and the rest of these. It were NBA contracts when it came to television rights. And it went even further, because then you got name, image, likeness. So once you had EA Sports and the video game companies getting involved, so you got basically college athletes with professional work. You have college coaches who are being paid at the same level as NBA coaches. And when I saw all of that, when we finally had numbers, when I'm sitting here looking at these broadcasters and seeing what these licensing fees and rights fees and the deals that they were swinging, and you're sitting there recognizing, man, this is not millions anymore. We're talking billions. We are at NBA, NFL levels already. Me being from Louisiana, I watched and witnessed it firsthand. Tiger Stadium, watched and witnessed it firsthand as these things skyrocketed in their value. And while a lot of folks have been looking at the professional level and the corporate level and the government level, I've never taken my eye off the ball. Never taken my eye off the ball. By the way, we need to take a look at this college thing, because this is where they are indoctrinating young people. This is where they're indoctrinating young men. It is a cult in these places where the entire system, all the employees, the deans, the chancellors, the glee club, the coaches, everybody gets together and descends on these young men with one goal: to tell them the rest of us at this school are here to eat, and you should just be thrilled that we allow you to work and generate the profits that let us eat. You should be thrilled. No. You should be groveling and grateful that you get to enrich us. Do you understand the magnitude of supremacy and exploitation that you have to do something like that? I'm not telling you what I'm speculating about. I've talked to the principals. I've talked to folk who've been there. I've talked to professional athletes. I got it on video. This is the way they've always treated it. I have them on video confirming, yes, that's what we were told, that we should be grateful just to be there, that the, quote, payment that we're getting is they allow us to attend college. Now, nobody talks to the white kids in STEM and talks to them that way. Well, you should just be grateful you're here. You got the cash cows that are generating untold of profits for these people. And they're telling them, while Nick Saban is walking off with tens of millions, they're telling the young men who generate the profits that, oh, well, your payment is a pat on the head, and you should be grateful that we allow you to labor for us. I'm saying, do you understand and recognize the magnitude of arrogance and entitlement and supremacy that you have to sit there and look somebody square in the eye and tell them, well, yes, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Of course. Yes, we should get tens of millions of dollars, and you should get paid in, you should be lucky that you generate the tens of millions of dollars for us. You should be grateful you get to do that. The point that we have always made is that do not try to talk to us about systemic racism, chattel slavery, and white supremacy in a past tense when I'm showing it sitting here in front of you to this day with the very attitudes that they exhibit. They haven't changed. They had to go low key. And we are the ones who had to put that in the spotlight and let folks know, hey, this is what's really happening. And that we are not going to accept that and accept the status quo. We're not going to do that. Now, I want to remind you of something here. You can see this article. This is not Jason Black talking. This is ABC News talking. This is not me. You see the headline, paying college athletes appears closer than ever. We're beyond, now that the Supreme Court has ruled on that years ago, by the way, we're well beyond speculation now, because now we're talking about not just paying them, but also back paying them. We're going to get to that here in just a few moments. This is a bellwether moment. I started the Black channel as a repository of focusing on the solution, and the solution is the socioeconomics, not the religion, not the education, not the political. The root of white supremacy's power is its economy. They hate us because we are black, but what allows them to victimize us is keeping us impoverished. And that's why that's always been the focus. So when we turn our eyes, focus like a laser beam on the money, we follow the money everywhere it goes, and we follow it back where it is, and you start attacking those disparities. That's when you start to have systemic change. I want to remind you of something else because this is quintessential and key to the reparations conversation. Y'all remember for years, everybody in here, especially the fellas who follow college sports and you got college sports teams, do you remember back in the 90s, they were telling all of us we was a bunch of crazy niggas talking about college athletes getting paid, remember? That ain't never gonna happen. Them white folks ain't never gonna do that. Why, these schools, you ain't never gonna be able to get them to do that damn. Y'all need to stop making all this damn noise. Let these kids go on out there and play. With your thistle in your damn mouth. Yeah, let them get out there and play. You getting in their way. They ain't gonna be able to make it to the pros if they sit up here listening to crazy ass uppity niggas like you. Y'all need to quit all that. Let these kids get out there and play. Yeah, they gonna have to get, took advantage of at the beginning of it, but you got to play the game. And so they let them play the game, and once they did it long enough, they gonna get paid. Y'all getting in the way. Remember? That's what we've been hearing all this damn time, remember? So it should come as no surprise to you that the exact same ass-kissing bootlicks who were talking like that then talk about that way about reparations now. That's what they always say. You have to understand the weak and the cowardly are always like that. Cowards are always scared of white supremacy. They never get brave. Never. They've been talking like that. So I just want to remind you all, 20 years ago, actually 25, 30 years ago, I would be sitting there listening to ESPN on the radio and college sports and this, that, and the other. And that's what they were saying on sports radio. Y'all just a bunch of crazy niggas. Ain't nobody paying no college kids. Y'all just be happy to get out there and play. And I'm just sitting there watching the profits go up and up and up and up. And what they were telling us then was to shut up and y'all noisy and ain't nothing gonna change. And for those of you who have followed, not even just the men, to the ladies and the gentlemen who follow college sports now for the last 30 years, y'all remember 30 years? This has been a conversation that's been going on now for 3 decades. This has been a 3-decade conversation. When they started broadcasting college sports on television for 3 decades now. We've been beating this drum and saying, by the way, why are they not paying these young folk? I don't call them kids. Why are they not paying them? Oh, you student athletes. No, they're not. They're student workers. They're student workers. They are not student athletes any more than your coaches are state coaches. They are employees. They are working. They are not student athletes. They're student workers. And you sat up here and tried to carve out some I'm white and I say so regulation to say, well, you don't get, we say you're not workers. We have been at this now for over 3 decades, but particularly the last 3 decades in particular, we've been persistent and consistent about this. And as you've noticed that year after year, the number of folk telling us that y'all just crazy niggas and ain't nobody gonna give you nothing, and y'all just stop worrying about that and just take whatever they give you off the table, and you just be grateful for that. You have to understand, when you allow powerless individuals to steer, everything goes down. I started this because we want to talk about black empowerment, and as you all know, over the last decade and a half, I have been relentless and persistent about this, and I keep coming back to it, which is why my new film 8 a.m. focuses on this, with principals who've been involved, with folks who have played at the college level and the professional sports level, and with them saying exactly what you've been hearing me say now for decades, saying the exact same thing. And what I'm saying is that all this time here, if you listen to the naysayers and you listen to the bootlicks, they'll sit up here and tell you what we're never going to get and never going to do and never going to happen. But then again, that's the way cowards always operate. We can't be led by the cowards. We have to be led by the courageous. And that's why I'm bringing this back here. Oh, I've been following it. I've been keeping my eye on this because economics is the root of the problem. Keeping us impoverished is the root of the problem. That's how you demonize and victimize people. So I've been keeping my eye on this to see how the events develop. And I told y'all the Supreme Court ruling doesn't say you get paid immediately here because now you have to work that kind of stuff out. Oh, but it's going. So for those of you who may not be aware here, what I want to do is I want to show you something here. From ABC News here in the article. I want to show you what we're talking about here so you can get up to speed on it. It says a settlement being discussed in an antitrust lawsuit against the NCAA and major college conferences could cost billions and pave the way for a compensation model for college athletes. For those of you who are not sports heads or whatever, and I'm not really, but I remember from following here, this was a huge controversy back in the 90s. I'm from Louisiana. I heard it one year. If I heard it one year, I heard it 1,000. This was a huge controversy in college sports in the SEC. Two things in particular: paying college athletes and developing an official, organized playoff system. Those were the two big controversies. Those are the two things that would make college athletics more profitable than ever, and you have had an organized group of people in college sports at the schools in NCAA to keep this system the way it is. Athletes don't get paid, and you just have a number of these bowl games, and I'm from Shreveport, so we have the Independence Bowl. But the whole thing is to avoid a playoff system because everybody was looking at the huge profits the NFL was making, and everybody was naturally asking, why is it that college sports is not modeled after the NFL? And there is a conscious effort by the schools and the NCAA to actively prevent college sports from following an NFL model, specifically to prevent playoff games. Even though the game would be more organized, much more organized, and whoever the quote best team is, it would be a lot easier to make that to settle that issue, which you currently don't have. So there's been an organized effort. It's a conscious effort. The schools have consciously gotten together and said, no, don't do that. No payoffs and no playoffs. No payoff and no playoff. Because they got a racket set up. And they've been protecting their racket. So I want you all to understand there's a reason why you don't have a playoff system in college sports. They don't want that. They've actively fought against it. And while the courts might be able to make them pay the players, you can't force them to adopt a playoff system, although I fully expect that once these young men start getting paid and once they start having agents, that will put a tremendous amount of pressure on the NCAA to go ahead and just follow the playoff model, because now you're going to have to maximize profits. So I just want you all to understand exactly what that is. When you have basketball, when you have baseball, when you've got those things, there's a conscious effort to prevent it. In the chat room, all I'm going to say, they have a 4-team playoff model now. I wonder if they think they're breaking news. Okay, folks, when we get there, I'll let you know, okay? When you actually get there, don't worry, I'll let you know. When you actually get there, I'll let you know. For those of you who don't know, because there are some folks here that are trying to jump the guns like, no, James, see what it is. Wait, let me talk. Okay. For those of you who don't know, They're not following the NFL model. They're following the plantation model. Okay? Jason, what do you mean by the plantation model? They are trying to drag this out as long as they can to give themselves as much of a hideous, huge head start as they can, so that by the time that they have to actually break down and adopt an actual playoff model modeled after the NFL, by the time they get around to doing that, well, they will have sucked up so much. They're going to try to suck up as much money as they possibly can before they finally have to break down and start spreading the money around. This is the model that American white supremacist capitalism was built on. So for those of you who are not getting it or not understanding, there's a reason why I keep saying that. No, I'm not going to adopt what you're saying. No, you don't have a playoff system yet. And no, it's not modeled after the NFL. And no, you don't have that. What you do have is a plantation model right now that is still running. When you get a proper playoff model, don't worry, I'll let you know. But by the way, that's what you're looking at. And they want to make sure that this goes on. They're going to try to drag this out as long as they can so they can squeeze out every dollar that they can hoard for themselves. And by the time they do start paying you, they've got this gigantic amount of generational wealth. And even if you get $1 million, you're still getting skunked by what they get. That's the strategy that they've used throughout society, and this is and will be no different. However, the results are going to be different because we're going to make sure it's different this time. Now, it goes on to say here that an agreement has not been finalized and many questions remain unanswered. It is also unclear if new rules could withstand further legal scrutiny, but it appears college sports is heading down a revolutionary new path, with at least some schools directly paying athletes to participate. It will not be some. When the dam breaks and the first schools start paying, it's going to be like the New York Yankees. Everybody else got to start paying. When the Yankees start paying up, everybody else got to start paying up. When the Yankees start paying up, everybody else start paying up. So do not let them deceive you. Somebody in the chat room said, why does college need the same playoff format as the pros? They aren't pros yet. Y'all just, okay. There you go. I don't know if that person is one of us or one of them, but there you go. There it is, right there, right here in the chat room. After all these years, by the way, he doesn't think that they're professionals. Nick Saban getting professional pay. The assistant coach, everybody who works at the college is a professional, but the young men on the field who actually generate the money are, quote, not the professionals. All right, folks, there it is. There it is. All right. Here's what is known and what still needs to be figured out. House versus NCAA is a class action federal lawsuit. Imagine if we had had this back in the 90s. Imagine where we'd be today. Seeking damages for athletes who were denied the opportunity going back to 2016. Yeah, the foolery is in full effect. Going back to 2016 to earn money from use of their name, image, or likeness, often referred to by the acronym NIL. The plaintiffs, including former Arizona State swimmer Grant House, are also asking the court to rule that NIL compensation should include billions of dollars in media rights fees that go to the NCAA and the wealthiest conferences, Big 10, Big 12, Atlantic Coast, and Southeastern, mostly for football and basketball. Now, understand something here. This is something that if we had started on this here decades ago, we'd already be here. We'd already be here. Just understand that. We'd already be here. There's a reason why I'm going over this. There's a reason why I'm going over this. Because I want y'all to understand what the other part of the problem here is. The 720 degrees of analysis that you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. The 720 degrees of analysis you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. Because you see, everybody talks about Ed O'Bannon. Everybody talks about him, and I get that. I get that. Everybody talks about Ed, but I want you all to understand, take a look at what you saw on your screen there. Take a look at what you saw on your screen because you're about to learn something. Hang on to your basketballs, people. House versus NCAA. The plaintiffs, including former Arizona State swimmer Grant House. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Grant House. This is him. And this thing he puts together here, he talks about name, image, likeness. And that's the issue that he has with the NCAA. And by the way, we're talking about name, image, likeness. One of the issues I'm passionate about is the name, image, and likeness. Now, Ed O'Bannon, understand something. I told you all this when they first started talking about Ed O'Bannon. Remember, Jason Black was the one who told you all, they ain't gonna knock this down till the white man shows up. They're not, with black men saying it, they're going to sit up here and fight this tooth and nail and everything else. But when they do start talking about passing the dollars, see, the legal fight is left up to us. The civil rights fight is left up to us. And the same white athletes who will be standing arm in arm with Nick Saban saying, don't pay nobody, as soon as we do the work to knock down the walls legally, when it's time to start putting the money out, they're going to try to make sure that the white kids get paid first and get paid most. And I've been saying that forever, that when it comes time to pay, we're going to knock this wall down, but watch, they're still going to try to give preferential treatment to the white students. Well, the lawsuit is called House versus NCAA. Well, this is House on your screen. This is him. That's him. Not Ed O'Bannon. Not none of the folk I've talked to. This is the guy who, now that he's showing up, now, we can make a class action lawsuit now, and we can go ahead and run that bread. Now we can make a class action and run that bread. Now we can do that. Now we can. And I've said this to you forever. I pointed this out to you forever because I wanted you to understand what we're going to be facing and what's coming up. Now you're not caught unawares. It is not enough for us to just be up to date. You got to be ahead of it. And I've tried to put you all ahead now for over a decade and a half. And I told you that this was the way it was going to happen. Once we knock down the legal hurdles, all of a sudden they're going to turn everything around. And all of a sudden they're going to say, okay, well, if we got to knock it down, how are we going to give the white kids preferential treatment? Let's see if we can do that. And it's going exactly the way I told you it would. Exactly the way I said it would all the way back then. Yeah. So I wanted to read this article to you here, but I thought I would take a moment to introduce you to Mr. House. I just thought I'd take a moment to introduce you. By the way, say hello to Mr. House. You're in a system of white supremacy. You're in a system. That's my whole point. You're in a system. And if you don't acknowledge that system, and that's what you're really up against, and that's what you're really fighting, then you don't know how it's going to try to play the events out. You can't disrupt the events if you don't know what the events will be. I do my best to try to give you a heads up. I analyze it so that you can see exactly what it is. Now you can be ahead of it. Hopefully. Just thought you'd like to know that, by the way, it came down exactly the way I said. Exactly the way I said. Let me go ahead and finish the article here for you here. But I just thought, by the way, if you want to know who the House versus NCAA, if you want to know who it is who pulled it off, say hello to Mr. House. Making sure that the Tim Tebow tax gets paid. Hey, if y'all about to start paying athletes, excuse me, you got to pony. We're gonna make sure this gets broken up for us first and foremost. Oh, we got to divvy that up for us first and foremost now. You know you got to do right over here, right? You got to do right over here. It says the settlement being discussed could have the NCAA paying nearly $3 billion in damages over 10 years, with help from insurance and withholding of distributions that would have gone to the 4 big conferences. Last year, NCAA revenue approached $1.3 billion, and the association projects a steady rise in coming years, thanks mostly to increases baked into the television contract with CBS and Warner Brothers Discovery for the men's basketball tournament. A new 8-year deal with ESPN worth $920 million for the Division I women's basketball tournament and other championship events takes place in 2025. Man, these folks ain't a bit more about playing here. They've been, raking in money. They've been raking it in. And then telling you what they can't do. They have been raking in scads of cash and then telling you what they can't do and what they can't get done and what they don't have money for you. But for everybody else, it's like, oh, wait a minute now. We got this available. Now we're going to see if we can go ahead and work this out. Now that you're going to have to go ahead and concede what's got to be done. Now that you have to do that. Do you understand that that's what the hell we talking about here? It also goes on here to say that the potential settlement also calls for a $300 million commitment from each school in these 4 conferences over 10 years, including about $20 million per year directed toward paying athletes, which is, by the way, a pittance. But anyway, administrators have warned that could lead to program cuts for the so-called non-revenue sports familiar to fans who watch the Olympics. So now they're saying, oh, think about the poor little old gymnasts. Oh, what will we do? Whatever shall we do? Now all of a sudden they're concerned about that. Now all of a sudden you're worried about that. See, that's what happens every time it's time to come up off our bread. That's why I wanted y'all to understand that. During COVID, a bunch of folks here didn't like it that I was just cold-blooded about it. When I said about reparations, I said, hey, y'all, this is how we got to deal with this. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything because you're not serious. I don't give a damn what is happening. When we start talking about passing our bread, everybody's going to start talking about, wait a minute now, think of the babies. And I'm first one in line. Damn them babies. Run my bread. Oh, well, there's a war in Ukraine. Look here, get your hard hat and your bulletproof vest. Run my bread. Oh, there's a pandemic. Oh, look here, cough, cough. Hand me my Halls, my Theraflu, and my heating pad, and run my bread. Oh, it's going to be World War III. Ooh, you better hurry up and run the bread if it's going to be the end of the world. You better hurry up and do that. Hey, why are you wasting time over here? You better hurry up and run that bread. The world getting ready to end. You want to pass that paper before the world ends, don't you? That's the whole point there. And so now when y'all sitting up here talking about the rest of this stuff, man, damn that you wasn't worried about that before now. Hell no. Run my paper. Run this bread. If those young men are getting out there in that damn field, run that bread. You have no problem shutting down music programs, shutting down all these other programs and whatnot. All right, well, gymnastics, well, there you go. Run the bread. Run that bread. Slide that paper. That's what it's going to be. Every time we talk about running our money, everybody wants to talk about just about, what about the LGBT? What about the illegal aliens? What about Israel? What about Ukraine? What about nothing? What about running my bread? What about paying what you owe? Every time the conversation turns to paying what you owe, y'all try to spin it and turn us somewhere else. Hell no, this is the only conversation that we gonna have. Finalize this damn thing, and you figure out how you gonna pay for all this other stuff. On account of the fact that what we doing been paying your way now for a century. No, you start running our bread, and then you go figure out how you gonna pay for gymnastics and underwater basket weaving or whatever else. You go figure that out. You're not gonna sit up here and say we need to take a loss. Well, we can't figure it out, so y'all just need to keep holding this L because, gymnastics, my ass. Run the damn bread, and then you figure out how you gonna pay for gymnastics and pay for the fencing team. You do that. You do that. That's the part you can take care of. I want y'all to understand we got to be cold-blooded about that. We're going to have to be cold-blooded about that henceforth and forevermore. Don't let anybody sit up here and give you some damn sob story. Every time it's time to pay us, they come to us about somebody else and something else. Oh, we can't get to you right now. Yes, you can. And I don't give a damn if everything else at the damn school go down. You owe us no more excuses. Well, what about the paper? And we ain't gonna talk about nothing else. We going on strike. I don't give a damn if they turning off the water in this son of a gun. It's time to pay us by any means necessary. And at all costs, it's time to pay us. Folks, if you allow them to give you any excuse for not paying, this is your job where you work at. You wouldn't imagine coming to work if they didn't pay you one time. And you wouldn't want to hear no damn excuses about, well, keep coming back until we get the money together. Wait a minute. Call me back when you get my bread you owe me and when you know you can pay me going forward. You do not let folks sit up here and hand you excuses. They will be handing you excuses henceforth and forever damn more. And that's all it will ever be. That's all we got now is excuses. They're always going to have a new excuse to throw in your face, something else that's more important than you. Do you understand that? Every time you turn around, if you allow them to not pay you and give you an excuse, that's going to be the excuse they milk every damn year you show up. Every year it's time to pay you, they're going to say, oh, can't do it. Remember last year you told me that, if the reindeer cross the road, we can't pay. We tried to tell you, man, it's been a bumper crop of reindeer crossing the road this year. So, we gotta take care of that. We gotta deal with the reindeer crossing the road. Folks, that's what it will be if you give them any excuse not to pay you. It's like an insurance company. They gonna sit up here and that's gonna be an excuse they come back to you with every damn year. You'll never get anything. No, you've got to just put your foot down and say, no more excuses. I don't give a damn if lights get turned off, water gets turned off. I'm not hearing no more excuses. Run that paper, and then we'll worry about the rest of that after you do that. Next thing you know, you're going to find out, oh, well, we had plenty money, actually. Folks, they did this at the record companies. They do this at the television companies. They do this at the movie studios. Please remember this. I've interviewed some of the biggest rappers y'all have ever seen. And they say the same damn thing, and them folks got plenty of money. They just scream poverty when you show up. These folks up here they got a million reasons for telling you why they made a whole bunch of money, and then when you show up, oh, we ain't got nothing to pay you. Oh, we ain't selling enough records here. Man, the show is a whole lot going on, man. There's a whole lot happening here. If we can ever get our feet up under us, we'll pay you what we can, and if we can ever get it together, and give it a look. Now, when you owe them. Oh, man. Now, when you owe them, do they accept any excuses, any extension, anything? Hell no. They coming in, it's like, hey, they don't give a damn if you can't pay your water bill, your electric bill, you can't feed the kids. Hey, nigga, run my bread. Hey, you pay us and you figure out how you gonna do the rest of that. That's what they tell us. They tell us that if you can't figure out, hey, that's not really our problem there. You go ahead and run my damn paper. I'm shutting this thing down. I'm taking your car. I'm taking your house. So I suggest you run the paper. You about to have more problems than just not being able to pay me. So that's what it's going to be. Okay, but when we show up all of a sudden, let me hear your excuses. Oh, is that a good one? Well, that sounds kind of reasonable what you're talking about there. I mean, okay, well, you ain't got it. I mean, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. All right. Oh, come back next year? Okay. All right, we can go ahead and discuss this next year then. We'll go ahead and talk about it then. Maybe you'll have it then. You might have it then. Oh, okay. Oh, you just signed a $900 million contract with ESPN? Oh, but you owe other folk. So you can't pay me because you owe other people. Okay, that's fine. Man, if you don't get the hell out of here, hey, nigga, you owe me. Jason, take a look at, I need this $1 billion from ESPN because take a look at all the people I owe. Hey, man, you owe me. Guess what? You're going to have to break bread on. You owe them, well, you owe me too. And you owe me more money and owe me longer. Oh, no. It's time for you to see if you can get them to accept your excuses this year. Break bread or I'm breaking up everything. That's the end of that. That's what it's going to be. In the chat room, by the way, Tiffany wants to go ahead and tell all of us what she knows. Tiffany in the chat room would like to tell all of us what she knows. So we're going to see if we can go ahead and get Tiffany to go ahead and instead of her having to be in the chat room, she can go ahead and explain to all of us because she has an insight that the rest of us just don't get. So we're going to have Tiffany go ahead and contact us here so she can go ahead and let us all know. Since very clearly we're not aware of how it works. She's got some insights the rest of us are just wrong about and we just don't get. So Tiffany, you are required to go ahead and give us a phone call because we cannot have this program continue with us being as ignorant as we are. We need you to go ahead and call up and to let us know what's going on. So you know what, folks? The telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the Blackest Radio program in existence. And Tiffany is our invited guest, as a matter of fact, required guest. So now that she's had so much to say in the chat room, since I'm so in error, now she's going to have an opportunity to go ahead and say it to us directly. So it's time for her to regale us to all this information that she has that we are blissfully ignorant of. Now she's going to have her opportunity to go ahead and weigh in on that since we are incredibly erroneous on this whole thing. Obviously we are. Obviously. So she's going to have a chance to go ahead and do that. If Tiffany doesn't, well, then she will not be gracing us. So I'm sure she wants to go ahead and let us all know where we're wrong. So we're going to go ahead and take a very brief non-commercial break. Before we do, I want to thank everyone, and I do mean everybody who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Miss Andrea Roberson, thank you very much for your support, sister. We appreciate that. Cut the check as always. Nancy, thank you very much as well. My man, Mr. Richburg, Chadwick, and everybody else here, thank you very much for your support. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. When we come back, I expect to be talking to Tiffany so she can go ahead and advise us all the things we don't know here and more. I want to thank all of you for liking tonight's program as well. We appreciate that. And this is the Black Channel.
Hello, my name is Steve Burgess, and I'm the author of this book, Guidelines for the Successful Student, a closer look at parenting your school-aged child. In this book, I've explained the role of the parent and the student in addition to what accommodations, procedures, rewards and consequences and expectations that need to be in place to ensure student success from primary to high school. This book is available on Amazon.com. For more information, please visit my link tree at Easy One-on-One. And to access my latest podcast, A Teaching Moment with Mr. B. Thank you all for listening.
A white supremacist assassin seeks revenge. Corrupt FBI agents with evil intentions. Dangerous black collaborators dedicated to treason. Occam Jeffers must defeat them all and somehow survive. One misstep and he's a dead man. Join Occam Jeffers as he looks the devil in his blue eyes and tells him, Black first. A sequel to the underground hit War of the Heart, Spirit of 1811 Publishing presents God Love Us, on sale at Amazon. Pre-order and save today. Visit spiritofo1811publishing.com and show your love.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Body Butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slavery and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening, and the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the Black Channel here. I am looking for Tiffany, so Tiffany needs to let my mods know what her area code is. She needs to be on the phone, and she needs to let us know what her area code is. And by the way, I got a few articles here that I did want to go over. We're going to go ahead and probably skip on some of that, but just to let you all know, when folks are telling us what isn't going to happen and what's not going to occur and what we won't be able to make happen, and y'all niggas is crazy and ain't nobody going to do this, that, and the other. Ain't nobody going to do this. And next thing you know, we're showing you year after year, we are still the people making these things occur. And after we get it done, then everybody's going to say, of course it was going to happen. Well, of course they were going to do that. They wasn't going to say it before, but once we get it done, all of a sudden, the tune is going to change too. Well, of course they was going to pay that. Of course they was going to do that. They had to do it. It'll turn into that next. By the way, where is Tiffany at? She done got real quiet. Now, she was the fountainhead of wisdom here in the chat room a little while ago. Now, all of a sudden, she doesn't have anything to say. Tiffany, where are you at? You had so much to say here earlier. This is not a good look for you. Just saying. Let's go over here to the telephone lines here. Let me get caller from area code 646. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Onan from Queens.
Onan from Queens. What's on your mind, brother?
Yes, sir. So there's a man by the name of Hrant Dink who was an Armenian journalist, and he was a journalist who raided against the Turkish government, specifically for the Armenian genocide that took place during 1911. And he was assassinated in 2007 by Olgun Samast. But basically, the beef with him and the Turkish government was that he felt that the Turkish government didn't acknowledge the Armenian genocide and didn't give the Armenian people their righteous due or their reparations. And I wonder if there is a link between the Turkish government recognizing the Armenian genocide and the reparations that are due to foundational Black Americans in this country, and if the U.S. government is also learning from the Turkish government as far as that's concerned.
Well, like I said, I mean, definitely power is not given, power is taken. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get called from area code 562. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Tiffany from Long Beach, California.
Okay, Tiffany from Long Beach. And Tiffany wanted to educate us. Apparently, we're kind of ignorant about these matters.
I wasn't trying to educate you. I wasn't denying anything that you said, just to throw it out there.
Okay,
I was saying that.
We read your comments, ma'am. We read your comments, ma'am.
Yeah, and I said that I have a friend whose son got into Washington State, and they gave him $300,000 up front. That's all I said. And they're paying these Black athletes
you
a lot
said
of money up
top
front,
Black college athletes are getting paid very good. In fact, they willingly give these Black athletes large sums of money up front because they know they are going to blow it within a few months. What are you talking about, ma'am?
Yes. So a few Black athletes that were on her son's team that have gotten paid way more than what her son got offered. They spent a lot of their money already on jewelry and cars. That's what I'm saying. Like, they give this money to these players up front.
Okay, so first of all, I would need some verification of what you're talking about. First of all. So all we have is your anecdotal supposed story. So you have where's your proof? Where's your proof of that, ma'am? What kind of
proof would you need, though?
Okay, you talking about I got a friend, I know somebody. Where's your proof? First of all.
Yeah, her son. I'm sorry, say it again.
Okay, ma'am, if that's the case, we should be able to Google it very easily. So go ahead and give us the names, and we can Google that very easily.
Why am I going to give you her child's name?
Okay, so you can give us the. You claim that there were other people getting paid more. Okay, you claim there were other people getting paid more. If you're not a liar, you should be able to name the other people. If you're not a liar.
I don't know her son's name. I don't know the other players.
Oh, okay. So in other words, you're kind of lying. All right.
No, I'm not.
Okay, yeah. In other words, you're kind of a liar. 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 Basically, you're kind of a liar. Because you were asked to actually prove that these are real people, and immediately as soon as I said that, I can't prove they're real people. Oh, so you're kind of a liar then. All right, that's all. Okay. And by the way, what does it matter what they spent the money on? What business is it of yours?
No, I'm not. Again, I'm not saying that matters.
Okay, now y'all realize she said something, and then she says, "Oh, well, that's not really what I meant. It don't matter. What is it your business what they spent the money on, ma'am? You're the one who made the issue of it. What concern is it of yours? Why does it matter? Why is that
your followers made an issue of it?
No, you're the one who brought it up, ma'am. You're the one who brought it up. Why?
Yes, I did.
Who are you to be pocket watching them?
I'm not pocket watching, but again, they know these Black athletes lack financial education.
And you lack sincerity and honesty. We're trying not to hold that against you. But furthermore, why does it matter what they spend the money on? That doesn't equate to a lack of financial education, by the way. You have plenty of rich white folks who blow money all the time and go bankrupt. Why is it your concern what they spend the money on? Why is it your concern didn't just stop at their owed money and they need to get paid? Why is it your concern didn't stop there?
You're right. You're correct.
Then why did you say anything beyond that, ma'am? That's kind of haterish, isn't it? See, the thing is, you're the tool that these institutions and schools use because they find some hating individual. Why y'all paying them fellas? Look at them big cars they can go ahead and drive there. That ain't right there. All you gonna do is blow that money on. You gonna blow that money on rims. That's all, man. I'm repeating, folks. I'm repeating her words that she said. Top Black, ma'am, be quiet. Ma'am, be quiet. Ma'am, be quiet. your
No, I'm not
exact
gonna be quiet.
words
Don't
were,
lie on me,
you're
first
a
of all.
liar. Your
No,
exact words were,
I'm
top
not a
black
liar.
college
I'm not a
athletes are
liar.
getting paid
But go
very
ahead and
good.
get loud and talk
In
over me
fact,
like you always
they
do.
willingly give these black athletes large sums of money up front because they know they are going to blow it within a few months. You are just a broke, raggedy hater. And that's the real issue there. You are just a broke, raggedy hater, and it's a shame.
Go ahead and feel better
It
about
is
yourself.
a shame. You're hating on college
I'm not
athletes.
hating. I never once said it was a negative thing. That's fine. I never said it was a bad thing.
She is hating on college athletes because they can do things she can't. There's the real problem. She's hating on college athletes because you're amazed that they did something in 2 years that you couldn't do in 2 decades.
I'm not.
Have you thought about seeking therapy for that part about how you're hating on 20-somethings?
Hating at all.
I mean, don't you think that's a bad look that you would be trying to sit up here and monitor what they would spend their money on? If they earn the money, why do you have a comment about how they would spend it at all? Who are you to comment on how they're going to spend their money? It's their money to spend. Who are you to even make a comment on it? Other than blatant, evil, reeking jealousy, who are you to speak on their money?
Jealousy.
This is really a shame, ma'am. It really, really is. Especially if you claim to be in California, this is really a shame. Especially because of the situation out there as dire as it is. How old are you, Tiffany?
Why does that matter?
Because I think that you are a middle-aged hater who's taking a look back at her life and realizes what didn't get done.
What?
How old are you, Tiffany?
Oh my God. I'm old enough.
Okay, Tiffany, are you younger than 40?
I am.
I don't believe you.
I'm younger than 40. I am.
Okay, Tiffany, I don't believe you. Get on Zoom. I'll pay you $25.
I have no reason to lie about that.
You have every reason in the world. You've been lying since you got on the phone. I don't believe you. I'll pay you $25. Get on Zoom.
I don't need your money. I have my own money.
Ma'am, you don't even have enough money to sit up here and stop hating on college students.
You don't know what
I'll pay $50. Get on,
funny,
Tiffany, get on Zoom. I'll pay you $50.
I don't need your money.
Ma'am, you are not under the age of 40. I'll pay you $75. Get on Zoom.
I'm under the age of 40.
No, ma'am, you're not under the age of 40, nor are you under the size. Now, you're not under the age of 40, nor under size 14. I'll pay you $100. Get on Zoom.
Size 14. What?
I'll pay you $100, Tiffany. I don't believe you. Get on Zoom. It's Mother's Day tomorrow. You need the extra change here so you can stop hating on college students. You need the extra pocket change so you can stop hating on college students now. This is a bad look for California. You need that extra bread for tomorrow.
Why are you thinking that? Why? I never said I was hating on college students.
Tiffany, I'll pay you $150. Get on Zoom.
I don't. God, you're crazy. I don't need your money.
Okay, Tiffany, you definitely need to spare change. You hating on college students, baby. This is a raggedy life you live in.
No, I'm not.
Tiffany, I'll pay you $200. Get on Zoom. Tiffany, I'll pay you $200. You're not under the age of 40 and you're not under size 14. Get on Zoom, Tiffany. I'll pay you $200.
I am. What is your Zoom link?
Mother's Day is tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I keep saying Mother's Day is tomorrow. Do you have kids, Tiffany? Because if you don't have kids, I'm giving you too much credit. So I don't want to put kids on you if you don't have them.
I do have a child.
I figured.
Of course you did.
Tiffany, you said to post the link, correct?
I don't see the link in the chat.
There you go. Let me go ahead and pin that to the top of the chat room there. And Tiffany can go ahead and use that link. That'll work perfectly fine for her, by the way. Now, if she has Zimbabwe broadband, this might take a minute.
Whatever. Now, who's gonna? Can everybody see me on Zoom, or is it just you?
Everybody can see you on Zoom.
Well, I don't want that. I want it to only be you.
Ma'am, I don't do webcams and stripteases, and besides that fact,
What? I don't do that either. First of all.
Okay, well, ma'am, we don't need you to sit up here and do what you do on OnlyFans. We don't need that. I know you're very tempted. I know you're very tempted right now, but we don't need what you do on OnlyFans. This is just basically a conversation, ma'am. You don't have to do the stuff that usually makes money for you. Just a conversation is all we're looking for. And besides, you're from California. How can you be scared of anything? Have you ever seen a female in California who was scared of something? Tiffany, what is you doing?
I'll have to see your face too. You're not gonna put me on there. That's not fair.
Ma'am, I got $200. That's not fairness. That's you getting an advantage.
Your money. I promise you, I don't need your money.
Tiffany, you want it, you need it, and you got to have it.
I don't need it.
Now, get your ass up here so we can go ahead and settle this issue here, so you can go ahead and show the world that it's not size.
We already settled the issue.
Ma'am, being a middle-aged hater on college students is not a good look. All right.
You can see me now.
I don't believe that.
And no, I'm not 40.
Ma'am, okay. Tiffany,
I'm not 40.
Slow down. First of all, Zoom has filters, but you know what? Let's just assume it's not filters. Baby.
I don't have a filter on.
Ma'am, if this is not size 14, what is?
I'm not size 14. I'm a size 10.
Let me see a label.
And I'm 5'10".
Let me see a label.
No.
Ma'am, I see that. Ma'am, no offense. Look at them arms. Baby, come on. What are you doing? Yikes.
Okay. Let's finish the conversation.
Label.
Okay.
Well, is she gonna get a label for us? And not your daughter's label neither.
I have a son, not a daughter.
Okay, not his label neither.
I'm not. What? Okay.
Yeah, you don't get to do that.
Can we get on with the conversation?
We can't do that neither.
Can we get on with the conversation?
Yes, ma'am.
Because if you think you're going to try and roast me in front of your people, it's not going to happen.
Ma'am, we don't do that.
You do that.
No, we don't.
You're known for that.
Ma'am, why are you hating on college kids? Sir, this is a bad look for you.
I'm not hating on college. My son's probably going to go to college. I'm not hating on college kids. I never said anything that was negative about it.
Except they're going to blow their money.
Because they are. They are. And if they don't have people to step in to mitigate where that money's going, they are going to blow it. That's the whole point.
But the whole point, the whole point is their money to spend.
They're going to do it.
The point is their money to spend.
Listen, I understand, but the Black community already has bad financial responsibility anyway. That's my point.
Ma'am, I do this online for the last 2 decades. Most folk in America are not very good financially. The majority of Americans will not be able to retire.
We're at the bottom of the barrel, though.
Okay, but the bottom of the barrel that's prejudicial to hold them out for particular contempt under those circumstances about money that they're owed. That's not even a commentary to have. Why don't we get them there's always going to be somebody who misspends it, and you don't know for a fact that it's going to be misspent. You have no idea. You're stereotyping. What I'm saying is, and by the way, where are your people from, Tiffany?
Like in California?
No, ma'am. No.
County.
No, ma'am, no. She got a certain look to her there, y'all. She looks like the kind of chick that you look like the kind of chick that Zaddy wants as his chocolate delight. So that's the kind of thing
You mean, are you asking me if I date white men? I don't understand.
Oh, I'm not. No, that's not an if you do. No, it's not an if you do. I'm not asking you if you do. I'm telling you.
I've never have.
Ma'am.
What?
Ma'am, I can see the Zac. I can smell the Zac Efron posters.
You know what?
I can smell the Zac Efron posters in your room.
I get this a lot. because I grew up around white people.
I wonder why.
That area.
I wonder
But
why
I've
you
never
get this
dated
a lot.
White person before in my life.
Yeah, I get this a
I've
lot.
never dated
I
a white person
wonder
before in my
why.
life.
She said, I get this a lot. I wonder why. I wonder why.
Because my voice and because of where I grew up.
Man, I'm not going off your voice. I'm
That's
going off
why.
what I just saw on the screen there. If you didn't have that damn Clairol weave sitting on your head like that, that's for Zaddy. That is not for the rest of the world.
God.
That is for Zaddy.
What?
And you know it.
If you think that I wear my hair like this for a white man, you are sadly mistaken. If you think black women wear their hair like this for a white person, that you are very ignorant.
You're literally giving hating white man ESPN Skip Bayless talking points and talk about, but I would never date a white man. You talk like Skip Bayless against black NCAA athletes. Well, I would never date.
No, that
I would never
part,
do that.
Listen, I know me well enough to know I will never date a white man. I've been around them enough to know I will never date a white man ever. That's not going to ever change.
She means never again is what she means.
I never have.
Where are your people from?
What I will say is I have dated mostly biracial, half black, half Mexican, half black, half white. But
no, she's
white
okay.
This
one of them folk talking about Mexicans are not white is what she's gonna say. Mexicans are not white. Okay.
I've never dated a full Mexican. I said half, not full.
Yeah, she's gonna tell you Mexicans are not white. Where are your people from, Tiffany?
My dad's family is from Arkansas. My mom's family is from Louisiana.
No. Where are they from originally, ma'am? Before they got to America?
Africa.
Ma'am.
Trust me, Mexicans in California think I'm Dominican. I'm not. I'm black.
I don't see why any idiot would think you are Dominican. I don't know why they would think that. Maybe Haitian, African. Now, African, you can tell us where in Africa, because we all know it's going to be probably Central Africa or something like that. Why don't you tell us that?
I'm not Haitian. I'm not Jamaican. I'm American. My parents are American. My grandparents are American.
It's California. The Belizeans tend to run around California. They tend to do that.
I'm not Belizean.
Okay. Ma'am, I think it's shameful here. And I'm hoping that as time goes on, we will get the hatred out of your spirit. So that you don't have to live that way.
I don't have any hatred.
Hopefully we can do that. Now, by the way, I'm gonna send you a text message. I ain't trying to holler, so don't start getting giddy.
What? Okay.
Well, because you need this, in the words of Corey Holcomb, you need this y'all, we done made Corey look right tonight. She need this $200. So it make the world go round. So we said the price was right, so let me go ahead and take care of that. I'm sending you a text message right now. So that text message you just got is from me. So don't send your Finsta link. Don't send your Finsta. Don't send your OnlyFans. Don't do none of that. Just send me a PayPal, because Cash App is still messing with us here. So if I ever get that straightened out. But go ahead and send that to me here, because I want to make sure you have a Merry Mother's Day.
Thank you.
We need to make sure we get you. We need to make sure that we whatever it is that Zaddy likes, just maybe a handkerchief skirt, plaid blouse, some a Taylor Swift album. I want to make sure you have what you. I want to make sure you have what you need. I need to make sure you have what you need, so I don't want you missing anything. So I figured this will cover you. I figure this will cover it.
Okay.
Yeah, she is cute to be a hater though. She's a hater.
I'm not a hater.
She's cute, but she is a hater. Now that is for certain.
I'm not a hater. I want better for black athletes. That's all I'm saying.
That's why she hating on them. It's like, she just need to be supported.
I'm not hating on them.
Has a man ever told you that you don't play your position?
No, because I'm very submissive.
How'd you end up a single mom?
So my son's dad, we were gonna get married just to make it.
So you already pregnant then?
Yes.
Okay.
I was young. I'm not gonna lie. I was young. I was 24. I was young. I was
How young?
By now, we were gonna get married.
How young? Wait a minute. What is young?
I said I was 24 when I got pregnant. I was 24.
That's not young, but all right.
Young.
That's not young.
What'd you say?
That's not young, ma'am. That's 24.
Okay. I guess. Anyways, to me, I was young. I was down. Got pregnant. We were gonna get married. Kind of find out he was living a double life. That's all I'm gonna say.
A double life.
He was a lot older than me at that.
Yeah, I figured he was. That he usually is. This fellow's probably in his 40s.
He's not white. He wasn't white either.
Okay, but you got pregnant by him first? Why come we didn't marry before we carried? Well, you was desperate to get there?
You're right.
What are you doing?
You're right. I wholeheartedly agree.
No, please. How old is your son?
He's 9.
Okay. So she's 34. Where's my Dave Chappelle sound clip? Gotcha! Anyway. She's like, oh, hell, how did you do the math on that? Okay, she's 34. That's okay if she wouldn't.
I don't mind telling you my age.
Yeah, that's why when we asked before, you didn't want to say.
No, you said, are you above 40? I said, no, I'm not. I answered your question.
That's why she was saying that before. Yes. I'm not afraid to say my age. That's why she never said her age. Ma'am, you have not responded to my text message yet.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, it would be nicer if she did look like Tarana Burke in the face. At least we would have a little bit more to go on. So it's a damn shame. But yes, she looks like she would be sitting right next to Zaddy, at the restaurant and stuff. Oh, the rest of these Negroes, I'm so much different from them. She looks like she would be right there with them, boys. Just she looks like the stunt double for Stacey Dad, not stunt double, but she looked like the stand-in, like she just missed the audition for Clueless. Like if it wasn't Stacey, it was going to be her. She looked like she just missed it. Oh, and I hate the thing too.
God.
The killing thing is, why come it always has to be the ones with the like chocolate skin tone. It can't be really just, the high yellow chicken caramel. It's like, okay, we can bomb on them. In California, they darker and it's just, we're going to have to figure out, I'm going to have to hire the 23andMe people to figure out where her family's really from since she's not going to tell us.
I told you.
Okay. We're going to have to go ahead and do that. Why have you not responded, ma'am? I'm not asking this.
I just did right now. I just sent you my Cash App.
Ma'am, I don't have that. Give me something else. And besides, I haven't gotten anything from you at all.
As far as what?
I have not gotten a respond text message from you, period. And I'm trying to do this on the air while I'm with you so nobody can say that I did not actually pay you. Because tomorrow is Mother's Day, and you trying to get that cell phone bill took care of, and I'm trying to do my part.
I don't need you to pay, dude. I'm okay. I know you think that I don't have money, or I don't.
Ma'am, you are cute and dark skinned, and what are you? Probably in Southern California, baby. The struggle is real.
I'm in Southern California.
Okay, that's it. Zaddy ain't come back yet. And the baby daddy is gone back to his country of origin. What? So Jason Black is trying to patch together a few holes for you mid-month, baby. It's a holiday coming up here. Don't you want to go to Ruby Tuesday?
I don't even eat there.
Not no more. Okay. Well, I'm just trying to do my part.
Not ever.
I'm just trying to do my part.
I may be a single mother, but don't think that I don't have my own money. Don't go there.
Yeah, that's right. I
didn't grow up poor. I didn't grow up impoverished. I didn't grow up in the hood. I've always had money.
Now, what's wrong with that?
I didn't say that, but you're acting like you're mixing up because I'm a single mom that I'm struggling. I'm not.
Okay, but I didn't grow up poor. I didn't grow up in the hood. I grew up in the hood.
Okay, and that's fine. But you're making it seem like because I'm a single mom that I'm struggling, and I'm not.
Man, if you don't take this damn money so you can go and buy you some drawers at Victoria's Secret tomorrow or something. She has not sent me a message yet, y'all. So that Obama phone.
I just sent it to you. Okay. I sent you my Venmo and my Cash App. What are you talking about?
Okay, so just these folks are just hating on her. All right. Hold on a moment here. I'm sending you the email address. Send it to the email address instead.
Okay,
Hopefully that will work a little bit better. Just okay, you got the email. I got it. Just go ahead and send it there. Send your information there. We'll see if that comes up. Yeah, y'all, it's the middle of the month. So which bill is it? Is it the gas bill? Now they're going to outlaw that in California. It's the water bill. So,
oh my God.
Okay, don't worry. We know she's not going to waste the money like a college athlete. So she's smarter than them. She would not waste the money like them. So she's going to spend it and invest it wisely is what she's going to do. So y'all just remember that. No, she got to pay this.
Did you get that message?
She got to pay this Wi-Fi bill. I haven't received any text messages from you. That's why I gave you the email. Hopefully that'll go through. Okay, well, now we got something.
Oh, my gosh. I think it's your service. It's not mine.
Okay, well, ma'am, you the single mom in Southern California. How is it my service? How is that?
Again, there you go making these little backhanded comments as if I'm struggling. I'm not struggling for the 1,000th time.
Must be nice.
It is nice, actually.
Oh man, this picture here could have been better.
That's an old picture.
Her video looks a hell of a lot better than her pictures. Let me tell you, this looks a whole lot more better. So,
oh my God.
I don't know how she did that, but it looks a whole lot better than her pictures picture does. So now I want you to make sure little Larry is
oh my God.
Don't go spend it all in one place here. And when she go hang out, y'all, she gonna light the town up tomorrow. She gonna get her hair did and her nails done. She's gonna be bumping that Kendrick Lamar or Cardi B. She's gonna be doing that. So
no.
Yes, she is. Watch.
I don't listen to any of that.
Man, if you don't quit. Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, she is. She's a Taylor Swift girl.
I don't listen to Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
what?
Cyndi Lauper.
Oh,
she's gonna be out there with
God.
Cyndi Lauper, Zac Efron. She's got Chris Evans posters.
To Zac Efron. I don't listen to Taylor. I don't listen to any of that.
Chris Evans posters on her wall.
No, I'm not a Drake fan either. I saw the comment.
Man, if she ain't, she is trying her hardest. By the way, now where's your son's father from?
So he's from California, but his mom is Black and Portuguese, and his dad is Mexican.
What? So she grabbed the lightest skinned dude she could. So she got some Vin Diesel looking dude while she telling us she love black men. And I don't like Drake. No, I just like guys who look like Drake.
That was my last biracial man that I've been with since my son's dad, and I will not go back again.
Man, look here. All right. Here you go, baby.
And my son's not light skinned. He is, well, yeah.
Okay. Wow, they put me through some paces here for you. You must have been running some scams or something. She is Nigerian.
No, I'm not. What?
Venmo has put me through some.
God.
Venmo has put me through some paces for you. They said, "Wait a minute, let's make sure we're paying the right Tiffany." I'm like, "Oh hell, the feds, the feds." Okay, ma'am. Yeah, they're saying that. Okay. Without me getting in your business there, whatever is the last 4 digits of the phone number you gave them, that's what they want.
So you can 4406?
Yeah, it's not that one, but I'm just saying, I was going to say, don't say it out loud, man. There's stalkers out here.
I don't care.
If it's another one, well, just whatever the last 4, you can just text it to me or whatever, but they're saying they want the last 4 of it, and it's not the one that you and me have been using, so.
Try this one.
Well, you know what? That's all right. All right. Now, I want you to go ahead and confirm you got that. You got that?
I got it. Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure, because here's my whole thing about it is I don't play games about that. If folks say that kind of thing, it's like, Jason, you wasn't really going to do that. No, if I tell people I'm going to do something, I'm going to keep my word. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to keep my word. Now, she is obviously a size 12. I ain't holding it against you. Size 12 is good. Size 12 is good. 12. Size 12 is good. I'm not holding it against you. Size 12 is good. I'm not holding it against you. Size 12 is good. That's not an issue. But I'm just saying, even still, the deal was for her to get on camera. She got on camera. That's it. Plain and simple. And Corey Holcomb has been proven to be the prophet that he is. So, fellas, if you do this, that's what it turns out to be. Tiffany, I'll let you have the last word.
I don't get a last word. It was nice talking to you.
All right, Tiffany, happy Mother's Day to you there. Don't spend it all in one place, and don't go back tricking for your baby daddy. Don't do that now. Don't take my money and do that. I would consider that to be a betrayal if you do that.
I'm not.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, y'all. Oh, Corey Holcomb called. Man, look, that's tonight. I just wanted to do it to prove it. I was about to say, let's see if she actually does bend when you get there. What Corey says, man, when you get that $200. When she is in need, if you get her at the right time, if she is in need, that $200, she want to tell you kiss her ass, but she need it. She want to say kiss my, but I need it. The bill due. The kid needs some shoes. I want to tell you kiss my ass, but I need it. So it's okay. What you want, nigga? $200. What is it you want? All right. Y'all saw how she did that. Y'all saw how she spun them tires. Yeah, when I said $150, I don't need your money. $200. Wait a minute. What was it again? Okay, what's the Zoom link? Y'all saw how quickly that went. What's that Zoom link? What's that Zoom link now? What is that? We're not going to do that again for a minute because there's going to be a whole bunch of chicks going to be in the chat room trying to wild out. Oh, Jason, you wrong. I don't believe that. And just wait for him to get on Zoom. Okay, hold out for that 200. See if you can hold out for that 200. So, okay, no, we're not going to do that. So just want to let y'all know we're not going to do this again for a minute because I can see right now it's a holiday coming up. It's a whole bunch of chicks trying to figure out if they can get somebody to pay their way to Carrabba's. And it's not going to be Jason doing that. So this was just a one-time thing. Based on what I was hearing, just the spirit moved me. It looked like, wait a minute, let's go in this direction. That's a one-time thing. Do not sit up here and tell yourself, oh, that's good right here. Jason going to pay for me to go to Cheesecake Factory, girl. The hell I am. The hell I am. So, if that $200, now this one needs to be a separate clip, but and then with that, she gonna fight this, but when that last $200 come through, when that come through, she gonna be like, oh, I want to tell him get on, but I need it, but I need it. We're going to go ahead and shut down Zoom, by the way, here. So there were a couple of other folks there on Zoom, but I just wanted Tiffany on there, so she did that. It's like, nigga, I got to buy these shoes. And baby daddy ain't answering the phone. It's Mother's Day. Somebody got to pay for these edges. Somebody got to pay for these edges. How you going to do this? Jason said, okay, this is $100. I don't need that. $100. Okay, how about 200? What's that link? How about 200? What's that link again? What's that link? I hope the fellas are paying attention tonight, though, by the way. I live in Southern California. I don't need no money, but pass me that Zoom link anyway, though. I don't need no money, but pass me that Zoom. Can you pass me that Zoom link anyway? Can I get that anyway? Wait a minute. Who in the hell? In the chat room, who is this talking about? Jason, Father's Day is coming up. Don't leave us out leave who out in June, man? What? Don't leave the fellas out. Y'all, somebody's nephew or something, his boyfriend ain't called him back like, hey, Jason, in June, the men could use a little something. Bro, what? Oh, I don't know what your takeaway was from that phone call, bro. But this, I don't know right there. Yeah, y'all. Is T.S. Giselle came through? Is that T.S. Giselle? Oh, this just went real. This just went real weird, y'all. This is. Old boy said, "Hey, wait a minute. By the way, us fellas could use something next month." So really is. I think I know what you can use. You can use a job. You could really use a job. You could really use some steady employment. That's what you could use in June. Yeah, summer season coming up. You can get you a summer job. Cut some lawns. Yes, sir. I know exactly what you can use. Jason, don't forget about us in June. Here's my Cash App. Whoa. Y'all, don't forget about us. Here's my Cash App. Y'all, the new niggas is something else out here. The new niggas is something else. They ain't got no shame. They read this why I didn't want to do this. I was so scared if I did this. I'm like, y'all know everybody gonna start hitting me up now. Hey, Jason, by the way, Oh boy, let me fall back. Oh, this was a terrible idea. This was an awful idea. I'm sitting up here trying to sniff out bed wenches, and here come the dudes. It's like, by the way, hey, Jason, I can use some new drawers. And I thought I was sniffing out bed wenches, and here come the fellas. The fellas like, hey, Jason, I can use a little something. Wow. Let me take this link down, too, as a matter of fact. Let me go ahead and do that. Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying. As soon as you go do that right there, all the chicks started sitting up here calculating. Okay, let me see here. I can go to Red Lobster. I can bring one of my girlfriends up here. Let me go ahead and get back over here to the telephone lines. I thought I was sitting up here about to prove something here, and I proved something all right. Here come the fellas. I proved there's a lot of struggle out there. That's what I proved. I proved that. So, all right. Caller from area code 516. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you coming from? Where you calling from?
What's up, brother? Jason Adam, Queens, New York.
Okay, your phone's going in and out there. Try again.
What's up, brother? Jason Adam, Queens, New York.
All right, Adam from Queens. What's on your mind?
Not much. I remember when I was growing up, like probably when I got into like junior high, and I really started getting like really interested into sports and like the collegiate level and things like that. And I remember thinking to myself, well, damn, like all the games that these kids play, it's damn near like an NBA schedule when they get to it. And everything is high level. So yeah, you're right. All this money is being generated at that level. And then I watched David Stern. I will never forget when he coined that term. We want to move to a more global sport. And when he said that, I think that was in like 2004. And all of a sudden, foul, you can't play defense, and the game is not the same anymore. But when you look at the game now, you see all these white athletes all of a sudden. It's like, not to knock them, but damn it, we ain't stupid either. Like back in the day when we watched ball was ball. But trillions of dollars are at stake, so why keep giving us the money?
Here's my thing, based off of what you just said, okay? Because this is the actual environment that we're in. And I got a question to ask y'all in that regard, because this is the actual environment that we're in. So, is there anybody who thinks that Travis Kelce is the best tight end in the NFL? Is there anyone who thinks that Travis Kelce is the best tight end in professional football today? Now, I don't know if...
Why didn't I say so?
Here's my thing. I don't know if you think he's the best one. I do know he just became the highest paid. Now, I do know that. And isn't he the guy who damn me shoved the coach on the sidelines, got in his face and pushed the coach on the sidelines during the damn Super Bowl? Ain't that the same Travis Kelce? Same one.
Speak on it.
But he walks. So y'all sitting up here and gave Richard, when we proved that you white supremacists, Richard Sherman gets held for getting hyped during the interview. Travis Kelce puts hands on the damn coach, and 2 months later gets the highest contract in the damn at the damn position in the league. Highest contract in the position.
About that.
And so what I'm saying is, hell yeah, but this is what we've always seen. In the NBA, they reserve the highest paycheck for the white dudes, even during Jordan's era. That's the way it's always been. So you looking around, we're the ones who do all the damn work, and then when it's time to throw that money out, though, for the white boys, like, oh, no, it's frictionless. Here you go. Whatever you need. There you go. And then when we show up, all of a sudden, it's here come Tiffany. Wait a minute, what you gonna spend it on? How much you need now? Where you going with that? Break my bread, but where's y'all going? So that's what we ended up with, brother. So, I mean, you make a very good point in that regard. Just when we show up, when these folks here show up, they get a whole different type of treatment. We can go down the damn list about this. There's a whole different type of treatment. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, he's dating Taylor Swift, but my whole thing is, so we just going to overlook this damn, so now it's okay to shove coaches on the sideline now? We doing this now. This is okay. So then don't say a damn word to me. So the black fellas, if they get a domestic violence accusation, oh, y'all ain't hearing me right now. So if the black athletes get accused of something, you gone. Suspension. You playing basketball in Turkey. You playing football in Guatemala. If you get accused of something, not anything proven, just did you get accused? Oh, we don't know we can fool with you. Travis Kelce can throw hands on the coach in the middle of the damn Super Bowl, and okay, well, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Y'all watching this happen in real time, in real life, right in front of you. You damn right, if they start paying college athletes, the white athletes are going to get that preferential treatment too. That's what this is. I'm just giving you all the heads up. By the way, that's what they're lining up. It's not that they're softening on this. They're like, okay, if we're going to come down, if the plane is going to come down, then if we can't control coming down, we need to control how it comes down. So if it does come down, like Brother Neely Fuller said, they take both sides of an argument. No, y'all don't need to get paid nothing. Okay, but if you do get paid, we're going to pay the white kids first. And there we are. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, brother. We appreciate that. Very good point you make. Very good point you make. Yeah. Yeah, Travis Kelce. I don't know if he's the best tight end in the NFL. I do know he's the highest paid, but then again, we've seen this damn movie before. They always find an excuse to make the highest paid player white. They always find an excuse to do that. And I'm just saying, by the way, shouldn't highest paid go with highest performance? Not if you're white and we say so. Call America 214. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Second try. Call America 214. You're on live.
Yeah, this is Elijah. I'm in Oklahoma.
Elijah in Oklahoma. Oklahoma where, sir?
Oklahoma City, 14 miles from the University of Oklahoma.
Okay, Elijah in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. What's on your mind?
Yeah, you made a lot of great points tonight. I'm an old OU quarterback, and as far as college goes, everything started in 1978 when OU and Georgia filed a lawsuit against the NCAA so that they could have their games on TV. And it's extremely ironic how you had the night before, how you had Shawnee O'Neal on yesterday, robbing Shaq. And now tonight you got NCAA robbing these athletes. It's very ironic. Now, see, the white kids, the time for them getting the top money is over. They're not going to be able to do that in the NCAA.
Yeah, they will. That's what I'm saying right now. They're stacking up right now to do that. Now, is it going to be as easy as they tell themselves? Not really, but don't be deceived. They're going to have most of the athletes are still going to be black. Most of the players will still be black, but they're still going to try to the few white dudes who do get in are going to get disproportionately high, which is what it always is. So just look for that. They're not going to be big in number, but they still going to cake them off, give them more money than they give you.
You're right. They're going to set it up. They're going to try to set it up. But if you look at the number one, I'm a sports agent for the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball, and this week I'm headed to the NBA pre-draft combine with the NBA athletes. And if you look, this year's number one pick of the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, he's an old Oklahoma quarterback too. He transferred to USC and got around $20 to $30 million before he even turned pro. And Marvin Harrison Jr. was offered some $20 to $25 million to come back to Ohio State. And these are two examples that I'm using to say that the white kids won't. These are numbers that the white kids and white athletes aren't able to get to. Atlantic Star has an old song out saying it's my turn now, and it's the black athletes' time now. It's an appropriate song for them.
Yeah, so, I mean, I really think at the college level, I think I get the point that you're making, and I do believe that there's an argument for it. I'm not the biggest sports person by any means. I'm not trying to pretend that I am. There was, like I said, there was just some event that just happened in sports. I even forget if it's football or basketball, but it's like a yearly event that happens. I don't know if it was the combine or whatever, if I'm getting that wrong, but I want to say it's a different name. So whatever it was just happened a couple weeks ago. So it's just I know these things happen. I don't know
the draft.
Yeah, I know these things happen. I can't keep up with it. But my thing is before the draft. No, before the draft. Is there an event that happens before that? It's like some type of picking event or something like that before that, or something.
Some type of what?
It's like some type of picking event before that, or some selection event before the draft. If I'm wrong, I'm just wrong. But I'm gonna say it was a different name. I know what the draft is. So it might be the combine. If I'm wrong, if it's the combine, if I'm wrong about it, I think it might be the NFL combine. So here's my thing about that.
You might be talking about
for college sports.
You might
go ahead.
Go ahead. You might be talking about the college workouts. Where the pro day.
Okay, pro day. There you go. Pro day. There you go. Yes, there it is. Yes, like I say, I'm the first person. I'm gonna tell you all that I'm not in the college sports professional. The money part of it, I can keep up with that. All the ins and outs and this combine day and measure your thighs day. I'm not. Right. That's not me. But my real thing is
the slave auction.
Yeah, and like I say, I don't know all the events, but I do know you need to pay them. I might not know the name of all the events, but guess what? I'm going to show up every time and say, hey, did you pay him yet? Yeah, whatever it is, pro day, amateur day, half day, did you pay him? So I'm good for that, y'all. So I know my position. Your position is know the names. My position is, all right, Jason, get up and pay him. Okay, I did my job. My whole point by saying this, though, is in college, I get the point that you're making, and I think that I see the rationale you're using, because in college, there's less, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I think there's less resistance, for example, for black quarterbacks in college than when you get to the NFL. In the NFL, I think it's more skewed in that regard. Right. I think in college, there's less resistance and less friction because they kind of have in their heads, well, don't worry, when they get to the pros, we're going to put Tebow on the pro team when he gets there. So we'll take care of him on the back end. Whereas in college, they're kind of we're seeing a situation where they're kind of getting washed out now. So they kind of can't even get that quarterback position used to be reserved for them. Now you're seeing the end of that in college. So the NFL is the only place you can really protect them and give them that sweetheart deal. So if they just get washed out all the way in college and can't even get any snap time or any play time, because that's where it's going to go, especially if there's money going to have to be paid. It's like that could put a lot of pressure on them and say, hey, we got to win some games because, we can't really give sweetheart deals because we got to start paying for games now. Yeah, I mean that could put a lot of pressure on them to certainly suppress the white athletes if for the preferential treatment they might have been getting. If I'm following it,
Right.
if that's a rationale that you're trying to make, I see what you mean.
No, you're dead on. They have to, with the evolution of the game and the athletes and bringing in the black athlete, it necessitates and dictates that you have to have a black quarterback, because a black quarterback can run. The white quarterback doesn't have the speed of the black quarterback, because
you think we're there?
Huh?
I mean, you think we're there? Because now, like I say, granted, once again, Jason is no expert. We're a little rusty, but I'm just saying, I know all the controversy about Michael Vick.
Right.
So everybody was like, well, he's special and you can't really find Michael Vicks and stuff. And I know there was talk about that
he used
being
to be a unicorn.
Yeah, I know that was talk of him being the quarterback of the future, but they were like, you can't really find the Michael Vick. And, Donovan McNabb could do some running, but wasn't like that. Russell Wilson, kind of in between. But so you think we're at a point now where the quarterbacks, we're getting to a point of having quarterbacks who can run. And so like the Tom Brady days may be behind us.
Tom Brady days are over. That's why they pay any white quarterback, whether he's mediocre or sorry as hell, they're going to throw $200 million at him. Perfect example is where I'm from in Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield. He's been given 100 and 1,000 chances to play the position. And with the evolution of the game, in the 70s, you used to put all big guys on the defensive line until in the 1980s, Bill Walsh invented, there was a linebacker, there was a player, Dwayne Board, who was too small to play lineman and too big to play on the line. And so they made him what they call a hybrid. And his job was to rush the quarterback only. And Lawrence Taylor, the Giants did that with Lawrence Taylor, and they only had one rusher. But somebody in the 90s figured out, 90s or 2000, well, let's have two rushers on the end, and you have it evolved into Charles Haley, and you have two 280-pound brothers on the end that run a 4-5 gunning for the quarterback. So no longer could you have a white boy standing in the pocket delivering the football. You have to have a dual threat. And that's the problem now. And like I said, any white boy that shows anything automatically gets $200 million if you'll do anything. And that's the evolution of the game.
Now, just so I can make sure I'm clear about this, maybe I'll learn something here. So are you talking about just quarterbacks who can run, or are you talking about quarterbacks who can like hit a line? Because Michael Vick could hit a line. If Michael Vick wanted to, he could hit a line. But are you just talking about just being able to run, or are you talking about actually being able to hit?
He has to run through the line. The running back has to hit the line, because the running back is 240 pounds. A good sized quarterback is anywhere from 200 to maybe 220. Tom Brady went about 215, and he blew his knee out. His knee was blown out by a tackle, and so Mike Vick's thing was speed. He was like Tyreek Hill and could run extremely like an Olympic track athlete and run what they call a 4.2, 4.3 40 and get the hell out of there, get out of harm's way, and bail out of the pocket. Where the quarterback throws from is called the pocket, and the black athlete can bail out of it, much like Cam Newton. And the problem in NFL is where you see the racism is with a white quarterback and Tom Brady, they will give him quarterback coach, they will give him nutritionist, they will give him a personal coach in the off season, they will give him all kind of supplements, they'll give him all kind of deals, they give him tons and tons more support but a black quarterback is on his own.
Right, but what I'm saying,
Black
like with Vic,
figure it out.
with Vic, McNabb or whatever. What I'm saying is that these are guys who, like, usually the quarterbacks run and they slide. Vic didn't necessarily do that. Vic would run into you if he thought he'd gonna get 5 more yards. McNabb would run into you if he thought he could get 5 more yards. Yeah. So these were guys who were not afraid to hit you if they had to, as opposed to that sliding thing.
Well,
what's his name? Brady's gonna slide. He's not hitting nobody. He's gonna slide. I forget the other white quarterback. He's gonna slide. But what I'm talking about when I say Vic, he's the guy who's like, if he wants to go shoulder to shoulder with you, he's coming. And he wasn't fragile. So if you're saying that we're at a point now where we're gonna start seeing more Vics, now that would be a revolutionary change. At that point right there, it's like, because Tim Tebow, he could hit you, but he wasn't great quarterback in either. So it's like, okay, well, you're not going to be able to perform at either level. So where's going to be a place for you? So I don't think. Look, I'm just saying the preferential treatment. If that happens the way you're saying, the preferential treatment is what will go away. So and I don't know. I guess what you're saying is we don't know if they're ready for that. We don't know if they're ready for losing that.
Yeah, it's already happened, and they're trying to suppress that. In the 70s, the coaches across the country said the black athlete is too dumb to play quarterback. The black athlete is too dumb to play center, because those are thinking positions, and the black athlete's too dumb to play middle linebacker. And the evolution of the game and the evolution of the game from a sport to a business. It's not sports anymore. It's big business. Yeah. And that evolution has called for the black athlete. When I was playing at 5'11", 180, they could always tell me, "Oh, you're too small." But when Cam Newton comes in 20 years later, and he's 6'5", 250 pounds, that little white coach is going to be a lot slower telling him what he can and cannot do to his face. And then another guy you want to look up is Johnny Bright. Johnny Bright was one of the first black quarterbacks in college football. And I'm pretty sure he was at Creighton. And they were an undefeated team, and they came to Oklahoma A&M, which is now called Oklahoma State University.
This is black and white. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. And T. Boone Pickens donated $500 million to that school as an alum. And when Johnny Bright came to town, that was when they didn't have face masks. And an Oklahoma State player punched him in his face and broke 10, 20, 30 bones in the man's face. So the racism runs long, deep, and thick, NCAA-wide.
Very good point to make there. Well, brother, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I appreciate your insights into it. Please do give us a call again. Like I said, I'll be the first one to tell you about what I do or don't know in that regard. I'm not a football expert by any stretch of the imagination, none whatsoever. I did look up Johnny Bright while he was talking about it there. Yeah, I mean, look, I see what I think that as far as the coaching is concerned, it's going to be harder in some regards, but I think it's going to get easier eventually. So it's not a matter of if we're going to get what's ours, it's a matter of when. But the injustice is they're going to try to slow it down as much as they can. So at the coaching positions, yeah, I mean, they're going to try to mimic the NFL in that regard. I mean, look, if we can't break the NFL from that behavior, what makes you think we're going to break the NCAA? And they've held out on just not paying anybody, period. So as far as preferential treatment for white coaches and being able to fail season after season, year after year, organization after organization, and all you do is get moved. I can't remember who it is. Is it Gruden? Does Gruden have a son who's coaching in the NFL? My NFL heads tell me, does Gruden have a son who coaches in the NFL? If I'm wrong, I'm just wrong. I know there's John Gruden, but is there like a Gruden son in the NFL? Correct me if I'm wrong or if that's the case. And I'm just saying, these guys get to go around, they get to go from one place to another, and they don't lose or nothing. Okay, you say he has a brother. Okay. But think about that for a few moments. You're related to somebody and away we go. Yeah, Jay Gruden, okay. And what I'm saying is, okay, is how good does he have to be? How good do you have to be? What I'm saying is that it don't matter what their performance is, they never go away. My point is, by the way, how good is this performance? Because they never go away. They just get moved from one place to another. How many times have you all seen there's a terrible coach and he gets kicked out the league for a few years, and if he can't go to NCAA, they bring him back on another team. So they have no problem recycling losing coaches like that. None. Yeah, Shanahan. So it's just, they have no problem doing that. So I'm under no illusions about certain things where coaching is concerned. That's going to be a tough nut to crack. That's going to be a tough nut to crack, because take a look at how they protect them in the NFL. I'm under no illusions that college will continue to do the same thing, at least holding out as long as they can. But certainly I think the brother makes a good point that, if you see quarterbacks going in that direction, I'm not qualified to say they are, but if you see them going in that direction, then yeah, you can see a lot of that changing. It's not going to get rid of the white players. That's never going to happen. But what it certainly will do is drastically reduce the number who get that preferential treatment that they've been getting all this time. That's what will go down. And whether or not the white players want to continue playing, if they're not going to get the preferential treatment that they've come to expect, if there's not going to be a slot reserved for them to get preferential treatment, cushy positions, protection, and high pay, if they're not going to get that, then that's what will drive them out of college sports if that happens. Now, if they can't get protection anymore and can't get preferential treatment, and if they refuse to play if they can't get that, well, then that could remove them. That could. Caller Miracle 323, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good evening, big brother Jason. This is brother Elijah calling out of Bronx, New York.
All right, brother Elijah, where at New York you at?
Bronx, New York.
Okay, Bronx. All right, brother. He had the projects over there. I hope old girl is worth. I hope old girl is worth the trip. I hope she worth the trip.
No, brother. I'm on the Jamaican side, Gun Hill Road.
Okay, I hope she worth the trip over there. So he said, "Hey, Jason, I got a hankering for some Caribbean." I'm like, okay, but I hope it's worth the trip, brother. Especially at this hour of the night. He's in the Jamaican side in Bronx at this hour of the night. So, brothers, I hope I hope you got your eyes open.
No, brother. No, big brother. No, I got a question. This is a very interesting topic, and then we see with the winds of change going, especially out there in Tennessee. I'm not changing the subject. Tonight's topic, with more of these PWIs about to start paying these brothers for their athleticism. Do you see the big pushback that this is going to eventually lead to the extinction of the HBCUs?
Well, I mean, the HBCUs, their issues, and I did want to talk about that tonight, about they're owed billions of dollars by these states, by the way. BET Networks just did a story on that. So they're owed billions of dollars by these states for the HBCUs. But no, I don't think this doesn't affect the HBCUs one way or the other. Now, well, obviously, if the HBCUs have to pay, that's a different matter. But then again, how many of them are actually members of NCAA to begin with? But as far as them having to pay, I don't think this has a big effect on them, because the bottom line it's not that there's an amount you're going to be required to. So it's not like they're going to be required. So if they can't pay nothing, they'll just get exactly what they've been getting. What you're going to see is the bigger schools. It's like professional sports. The bigger schools that can afford a budget now is going to set off, bidding wars between them to draft or to acquire the best athletes or sign the best ones that they can out of high school or from another school. Now there's where the real money is going to be made. The real money is going to be made, if you're a freshman or a sophomore and you're showing pretty good and you want to change schools. Now that's where the next fight is going to be. The next fight is going to be over whether or not you should be able to transfer from one college or one university to another if they offer more money. Now that's going to be where the next fight is going to be. Mark my words. Once you knock this wall down, the next fight isn't necessarily going to be over white quarterbacks and think necessarily that's going to happen regardless. The next fight, I think, is going to be about whether or not you can transfer out of one school or another.
Yes, sir.
Or whether or not they
Yes,
can
sir.
hold you there for your entire college career, and that you just can't leave. That letter of intent thing, that they're going to say that's a contract. So mark my words, they're going to start telling you that that's a contract, or they might just make official contracts and tell you you can't leave that school for the entirety of your college career, whether you like it or not.
Yes, sir. I got one more question, and I'm gonna get off the phone because for the other listeners, big brother, you made another good point about when you was talking to that sister earlier, I believe Miss Tiffany. You was talking about when she was talking about the $1,000 situation with one of her friends or something like that. But you said the reason they pay out these big monies because they know the athletes are going to basically spend it, will blow their money. So that my question is, okay, they blow their money and everything like that. What happens next if they don't even make it to the pros? That's my real question.
I mean, well, look here. Like I say, in my new film, 8 a.m., I talk to these fellas about this. And so a lot of that is overblown because here's the issue. The issue is we don't get to have financial conversations with these young men because they ain't got no finances to discuss. That's the problem.
Yes, sir.
We're sitting up here talking to them about money they ain't got. So it's very easy for them to have it as a hypothetical. The money, they've never had any. So for that reason, the money ironically becomes non-existent to them because they've never had it. So if we can have concrete conversations with them, show them what they're getting, we can start having these conversations with them in high school. Because there's the thing I was talking to about with Ralph and Muggsy Bogues about. That's the kind of thing I was talking about, is that us having these conversations in high school. Because what they were saying was, there was no money conversation with them at all. Nothing at all happening. And I want to have a situation where as soon as these kids put on a pair of pads, that we having conversations with them about money. That's what I want to have happen. Now, we might not get to paying them in high school, although don't be surprised if we get that too. But we might not be paying them in high school, but what I'm saying is that instead of us talking to them about college as a place where you go get a degree and then you go make some money, we can have, for you athletes, when you go to college, you'll be making money there. We need to be talking to you about making money, about managing your money in middle school. Yeah, you like Scottie Pippen.
Yes,
let's explain to you what happened to Scottie Pippen financially so you can avoid that. So that's what I'm saying, is that I think that's a much better environment. If you're going to have a situation where they're not being paid, they need to be educated about money. Right now, they're neither being paid nor being educated. And if we're going to have them in middle school and you know they're going to be playing ball, or there's a prospect they're going to be playing ball, or we're suiting them up, from the moment we do that, their teachers need to be talking to them, okay, let's talk about managing these finances. Even if it's an after school class, whatever, we need to have that conversation with them. We need to have that one.
Yes, sir.
And the other thing is, you need to have a conversation with them, by the way, you don't owe your mammy nothing. You're not here to patch together their holes, because that's what will have you in a situation where you're broke and you can't get out of it. When you're trying to save the whole family and stuff like that, to tell them that's bad business management too. You can't sit up here and be in a situation where you're trying to save everybody. That's not managing your finances. That's being a charity. And their problems are going to, just ask Tiffany and them, all them folk in my pockets tonight. Their problems will exceed your ability to finance their problems. So that's money management too, and that's a conversation that needs to happen early. So I would be in favor of having that conversation in middle school and high school. And now that we know they're going to get paid in college, that's all the more reason that needs to be part of the conversation that we're having with them in middle school and high school now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller area code 651. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is Bill calling out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
All right, Bill out of Minneapolis. What's on your mind?
You know, I've been enjoying this fantastic broadcast that you brought up about college athletes and about the fact that they've not been able to get compensated for their likeness and everything else. I went to the University of Minnesota, and I was college friends with Nate Mason, who used to be the starting point guard for the Golden Gophers basketball team. And one particular conversation that I had with him, I think it was around my sophomore year. He was a senior at the time. And I'd ask them the simple question about the fact that, you're a college athlete and you basically, have to go through, your college courses, and then basically you got to go take care of your training regimen and then get back to practicing. And then he literally showed me the scheduling about how, his entire day. And he gave me a bit of a window of what a lot of these college athletes go through, on a regular day basis. And I asked him simple up, and I asked him, like, bro, you're working like a full-time job and you're not getting any compensation for it. And he basically looked at me, he's like, yeah, you're right. There's a reason why many of them decide to go pro early, because literally a lot of these colleges, because Minnesota is part of the Big Ten Conference, is one of the major conferences in all of college sports. Literally, a lot of these, conferences, they get paid not from like concessions or by stadium rights. It's literally off of television. And the fact that the NCAA for generations has literally basically put the halt to that is completely much ridiculous. And I'm glad that a lot of it is coming up to the forefront, because it's about time that the NCAA does what it should have been doing a long time ago. And then you also rewind back to about the USC situation when Reggie Bush got stripped of his Heisman, trophy, because of the fact that they claimed that he was taking illegal benefits, but they never did any of the damn paperwork. Like, really? It's one of those things where it's just like, you just look at the NCAA and the way it was set up.
Look, we should have had this conversation. Why is it took us all these decades to describe the NCAA as a trust?
Mm-hmm.
It's taken us decades to use the word NCAA with the word trust. And though it's been operated as a damn trust from the very beginning, it was set up as a trust. It was set up as a monopoly. Or at least it was set up as a trust. Let's say it was set up as a trust. And it's been decades for us to get that acknowledged. Decades, not years, decades. And that's the big of a head start that we've been getting the whole time. Now, let me go ahead and go back to that college sports thing there, because I also talked about this with the folk I talked to about the fact that, by the way, we really underestimated the value of college sports for a long time. It wasn't until Jefferson Pilot comes along and then you see the bigger contracts for television coming along that the light bulb went on. But we really were undervaluing that. And what I'm saying is that college sports actually has a level of nostalgia that professionals, but the NBA, higher level professional sports, doesn't have. NBA, NFL, for example, you talk about events like the Music City Miracle. You talk about events like that. But what I'm saying is that for students who went to those schools and stuff like that, for like in southern Louisiana, Tiger Stadium, it's nothing to have 90,000 people there. And what I'm saying, that's a lot of people, and they travel around the country and stuff like that. And that's important because these are moments in their lives. So most of these players are not going to be able to go to the NFL or the NBA. Most of them. The majority won't, which means the apex of their athletic career, though you talking about blowing money and whatnot, they're not going to make it out of college. But that doesn't mean that their value evaporates there. The very presence of these video games and merchandising from these things, that retiring your jersey and whatnot, that's a testament to that. That, by the way, your college career could actually be pretty damn impressive on its own. Might not be at the level of NFL, NBA career necessarily, but a lot of folks have underestimated the value of those things, particularly where nostalgia is concerned. If you come from a certain geographic area or geographic region, that season might have been a bellwether season in your life. You might have met your girlfriend who you married there or whatever, but that particular football season for Duke or whoever, Navy, whatever, that might have been a bellwether season in your life. And I think a lot of folks don't understand that that's where a lot of that value comes from. So even if you never make it to the NFL or NBA, if you have one of those type of seasons like that, okay, like for example, us here in Louisiana, when the Tigers won their championship, that was a huge thing. That was a huge thing. Because, it always seemed like it should have happened stuff. That was a huge thing. So you talk about the first time when the Saints won, but by the way, it's the same thing at the college level for SEC. Same thing there. And so as a result, so we still talk about the coaches there, DiNardo, Les Miles, then there was Nick Saban. So, we still talk about them. And then, of course, y'all talk about Reggie Bush, of course, obviously. But even if he had never made it to the pros, just think about that for a moment. even if he had never made it to the pros. When we talk about these guys, their college careers were so impressive that a lot of that's carried a lot of these guys' names regardless, and being denied. So you tell me that your name has that much value. Okay, you never made it to the pros, but your name had enough value for EA Sports. EA Sports says your name had that value.
Mm-hmm.
They think it does, but everybody's telling you it doesn't. No, that's all. That's just their game, and not for you. Really? Because they think it does. So we're in the middle of a big-ass gaslighting, brainwashing mind job. That's what we're, with everybody telling us that what we got ain't worth nothing. And then when they taking stuff and you look behind closed doors and you open up the wrong accounting book and find millions of dollars with your name next to it, but your name is in parentheses. Like, wait, what's this right here? Oh, that's nothing right there. That's the naming thing. That's not doing what you're playing. Okay, but I couldn't help but notice this number next to it. I don't get none of this. No. You were just playing there at the time, and we let folk play this game on us like that. So they undervalue us, and then we undervalue ourselves, and then it becomes a revolutionary conversation to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm not undervaluing myself. They talk you into that until you just throw all your value away. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, you said it 100% on the money when it comes to the video games, because when you look back at Reggie Bush's career, I mean, his value was like in the millions, and he never even made 1 cent during his 3 years at USC. And then you basically say that, oh, he's basically taking legal benefits. Well, motherfucker, you should say that to every other college athlete that you basically build a job up for so many centuries, and then you literally say that you can't even make half of that. But while you take almost like billions of dollars off of the backs of these networks that basically give you all the money in the world.
I mean, but here's the thing: the point that you're making there is the whole damn thing that drives us insane. Wait a minute, you gonna penalize the athletes for doing what the school and the coaches are doing?
Exactly.
He's thinking everybody around him there's billions of dollars, and okay, it's okay for them, but I get penalized if I do it. So it's wrong if I do it, and I'm watching y'all do this every day. Man, look here. Welcome to I'm White and I Say So. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Like I said, that's the part that drives you insane. It's like, wait a minute, I'm standing here, every damn body at this school, the coaches, everybody here is doing it, but y'all gonna penalize me if I do? So they can all do this in the open. Hell, they in front of microphones, they're getting interviewed about doing it. But if I do it, we're gonna ruin you. Really? Man, if y'all don't get the hell out of here with that, I'm just not playing no games about it. Hey, if the coach can do it, why the hell the players can't do it? Call America code 480. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, this is Jeremiah. I'm calling from Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, what's that name again?
Jeremiah.
All right, Jeremiah from Phoenix. What's on your mind?
Jason, I think that you're somewhat race baiting because you really don't know.
Oh hell! This is the damn tether from northern Chicago, nigga. If you don't stop false flagging.
Well, let's stay on topic right now.
All right, yeah, that's right. Let's just go past that part. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not sure you are familiar with who is the highest paid player in the NFL. His name is Deshaun Watson.
Sir, I'm not speaking about the highest paid player in the NFL. I didn't make any aspersions about that. But go ahead.
Basically, he is the highest paid. He is the highest paid player in the NFL. $230 million guaranteed.
For now.
And he has had over 30, claims of sexual assault by misogynist women, and he's still a player in the NFL.
Okay, those claims, did that happen before he got to the NFL or after?
No, it's not. Okay, it happened when he was an NFL quarterback. Over 30 sexual assault claims from women.
Okay, sir. And how many prosecutions?
What do you mean? He wasn't prosecuted, but you just made it out.
Wow.
Earlier,
okay. Wow. All right. Wow. All right.
I mean, earlier.
Okay. I'm not giving you accusations about Travis Kelce. We got him on video shoving the damn coach and cussing at him. We got that on video. That's not speculation.
Well, I mean, basically, the NFL could have easily kicked him out. Instead, they rewarded him with a $230 million contract. and you're saying race is
Sir,
involved.
it's not a reward
He's
right
the
there.
highest paid quarterback.
Ben Roethlisberger, sir.
This is not about Ben Roethlisberger. But
Boy, y'all hear that
this is a
stutter,
different
y'all?
time.
Y'all hear that stutter, by the way. So what you're telling me is you have one black athlete here who has not committed a crime, and he's actually being treated like someone who hasn't committed a crime, and yet the damage is done because you're on my damn phone talking about something that isn't even provable.
And the other thing, there was one, Tiffany. She is absolutely right about the mentality of a lot of young black college kids.
All right, tethers of a feather stick together. All right.
You could call me a tether all you want, but she is absolutely right that a lot of young black college kids, if you give them $100K, $200K there, they'll blow it right away.
But not all. But sir, that's going to be
some.
That's going to be some of them. But that's everybody in life here, sir. Folks, I said this before. You have bankruptcy court, and there's a bunch of white folk up in there. Folks sit up here and mismanage money, blow opportunities. Take a look at the lottery. If you give somebody 90% of the people who win the lottery, the money is all gone. So why are we holding these folks out for special penalization for it or special scrutiny?
It doesn't happen that much with white. It doesn't happen that much with white student athletes because they have a strong family structure.
No, sir, they do. No, sir, it doesn't happen that much with white athletes. No, sir, it doesn't happen that much with the white athletes because the white athletes all get sweetheart deals and get protected.
How?
Wow, do y'all hear this right here? In any case, sir, no matter how badly a white coach performs, he will get transferred. He doesn't get moved out of the league. He doesn't get moved out of the NCAA. He can keep screwing up, and there he is. Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was obviously fundamentally flawed, but he was white, and we have to take care of our white athletes. So he was put out there, and even after he was a bust, be quiet, even after he was a bust in the NFL, he was immediately moved into a commentator job. Immediately. As soon as they let it be known that he was going to get moved out of Denver, he was immediately positioned into a commentator job. Now, how in the hell is it you can be an underperforming quarterback who just lost your job in Denver and they already got you lined up for a commentating job? That's the reward you get for not being able to perform as a white athlete is immediate commentator job.
They don't give every single white athlete a media commentator job.
No, they give them other things, sir. You name a white quarterback in the NFL, and they get taken care of. They always have.
No, a lot of times. Yeah, I will agree with you. In the past, they probably got special preferential treatment.
Who's a white quarterback who isn't being taken care of today?
There's this New York Jets quarterback named Zach Wilson. Oh man, he's terrible.
Is he playing? No, is he playing now?
Well, he is on a team, but he's going to get cut.
Okay, so in other words, you just proved me right. He is currently he's a terrible quarterback. He's still got his job and he's still being taken care of.
Russell Wilson. Let's go with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has been awful for the past 2 years.
Russell Wilson has been awful longer than that, but Russell Wilson was their token Negro ass kisser up in Seattle. And that's what happened to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson came to Denver. His agents were able to get him a great contract, but now that he's underperformed, they have telegraphed to the world that his career is at its end. And there won't be anything after that. No commentating, no sweetheart position. This contract he got, he better make it last the rest of his life because that's a wrap.
I'm not worried about Russell Wilson. I'm just saying that I think you're race baiting because, I truly do think a lot of black athletes in the college level and in the NFL level are getting the same opportunities as white athletes.
What kind of black person uses the term race baiting?
Race baiting. You're trying to put white people and other races against black people. You're trying to put black people against other people. Like it's us against them. It's us against tethers, people from Nigeria, people from other countries. I think that's wrong. I think it's just really disingenuous for you to do
Sir,
that.
what black
Because
person goes
that's
around
not-
telling black folk that they're race baiting?
You are race baiting, though.
I'm race baiting whom?
You're trying to right now. You're like a bunch of times you state that it's black people against immigrants from Africa, immigrants from.
Okay, I haven't said anything like that tonight, sir. What am I race baiting tonight?
You use the slang term tether to basically insinuate and let your audience know that
that's not racial. That's not racial.
It is racial. It's definitely.
No, it is not, sir. That's not racial.
It's a slang term. It's a disrespectful slang term that you guys use.
That's not racial, sir. That's not racial, sir. That's not racial, sir. You already know that. You're lying. There's another tether issue. You're lying, sir. That's not racial, and you know that. But what you are doing is you are projecting your desire to be white supremacist. You wish you could be a white supremacist, so you obviously identify. That's why we have that term. Tether is a term that identifies individuals who identify themselves with white supremacists. You wish you could be them, so you identify with them, which is why you use their talking points, you use their language, you use their vocabulary. That's why we have that.
Absolutely not. I'm just stating that Deshaun Watson, 30 sexual assault allegations.
Okay, allegations, sir.
Claims from women.
Allegations, sir. Now prove that those allegations are all not false.
How are you saying if one person says that, hey, this guy raped me, okay, obviously there's 30 different women, man. 30.
Sir, in other words, what you're saying is that he's a high value target who attracts frivolous accusations, is what you're saying.
Either way, in the past.
The very fact that you can say that there's 30 women and not a one of, sir, you're saying that there are 30 women and out of 30 women and 30 so-called accusations, 0 of them have been able to be substantiated. That's mathematically impossible unless all of them are false.
It takes a whole lot to prove a rape claim.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not, sir. Ask Brian Banks. Sir, black men get put in prison for false rape allegations and no physical evidence all the time.
I know. He pled guilty because he didn't have the accurate representation.
Sir, black men get falsely accused and convicted of rape allegations all the time, dude. You're trying to argue against reality and facts. They get accused and convicted all of the time.
That's not true. I mean, a bunch of college athletes recently have been, accused and prosecuted for rape, and they actually got acquitted.
Okay, but sir, what you're saying is, okay, has Deshaun even been prosecuted? Has he even been charged?
He was never charged. But
okay, the fact that didn't occur, that's your first clue that you need to stop trying to push this line. There's a reason why they dismissed it, because it's so obvious that those accusations are all false. A bunch of females got together and said, "Oh, are they handing out free money?"
But he still settled. At the end, he did went ahead and settled with pretty much a bunch of those women.
Sir, if somebody has committed a crime against you, do you settle? Do you take money for it? Somebody committed, let's try this again. You're not listening very well. If someone committed a crime against you, like sexual assault, are you telling me that you would tell your daughter that the proper response to being sexually assaulted is to let them pay you off and send you home and settle with them? That's the proper response?
If they're giving me like $1 million, $2 million, yes, of course. That's what Deshaun Watson did with pretty much that.
So you're telling us that you would tell your daughter, well, if he did sexually assault you, well, take $1 million and then go home. Go ahead and walk that off, baby.
Yeah, that's generational. That's generational money. If they're offering $4 and $5 million for them to just say, hey, let's not pursue the case, yeah, I'll tell her to take the money.
Y'all, all I can say in response to that is tether family values. That's all I'm gonna say in
Anyway,
response to
you're
that.
wrong.
If your daughter gets sexually assaulted, well, find out how much you can get for it, baby, and bring it back to Kenya. Okay, tether family values. That's all I can say.
All right. Have a good one, Jason. Bye-bye.
Well, he say, if that was my daughter, well, hey, baby, he did what to you? He raped you? Well, how much can we get? How much can we get, baby? How much? All right, that's all I can say to that. Y'all want me to argue? You want me to talk him down? You want me to try to convert him to the love of Jesus? Is that what you think I'm going to do? Oh, no, tether family values right there. He didn't think, that's why he was laughing getting off the phone. He didn't think it over. He's like, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't so great. Yeah, these women accusing Deshaun Watson. See, that he guilty. Dude, so the appropriate response is if your daughter gets assaulted, she needs to, here, baby, take some money and go walk it off? Well, yeah, I would tell my daughter, we could do a lot with that. Okay, well, tether family values. You different from us. Hey, they not like us. Not like us. Okay, he told you if that's his daughter, it's like, hey, look here, just like, hey, baby, just consider this to be practicing for the block. Consider this to be practice for the track. All right. Okay, he said it, not me. Hashtag they not like us. All right, this is okay. All right. I'm not arguing. Caller from area code 626. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Tony from Los Angeles.
Tony from Los Angeles. What's on your mind?
What's so sad is that the main two sports that create most of the revenues for these colleges, which is basketball and football, subsidize all the other sports like volleyball and bowling and tennis and even baseball, and especially baseball. And what's really sad about that is, as far as baseball is concerned, is that I don't know if you noticed the change in the past 10, 20 years where in baseball, instead of seeing Black American baseball players, instead of seeing Black American baseball players, most of the Black players you see are from they're non-Black. I mean, they're non-Black American. Let's put it that way. From somebody like San Juan Martorell or something like that, or whatever. Instead of taking that extra money and developing, as far as for the Black kids and everything, instead of them doing that, they actually went outside of the country and developed those ball players there. And the reason why I think they did that is because they don't want to see ball players like Barry Bonds anymore, because they want players like him and Bo Jackson and or even Deion Sanders, because we know our rights. We're not going to kowtow down to basically to a lot of these white ball players, where those guys they're trying to get off from these other countries.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have a history of this. Our history here is what has created this. And the amazing thing is you'll have a bunch of folks who didn't do anything to do this and aren't part of our lineage going to come in later and claim that they were responsible for this. That's going to be the real crime of this. We have a 170-year history of fighting this. This is a battle that we've been fighting now for over a century. They're going to go to places with folks who ain't fighting nothing. They're not doing anything. They're not fighting anything. They're not resisting anything. Right. Then they bring them over here and they're going to take up where they left off. They're going to be just grateful to be here. They have no idea and completely divorced from what we done. So whatever they get flicked off the table, that's it. So yeah, you make a very good point. They would love to have that because they're not going to resist anything. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller area code 929. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. My name is Daryl from Chicago.
All right, Daryl from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Jason, excellent broadcast as always. And this is wow. This is a moment I got to say something about this. I know people don't look at this sport too much, but it believe it or not, This sport brings a lot of revenue in, and believe it or not, this is the number one sport that brings revenue in, and that's NASCAR. NASCAR, you don't see a lot of blacks in NASCAR. The ones that are in, the ones that have been in, they didn't get paid much, and they had to pay so much dues to get into that. They've had stories about that and everything.
Well, I mean, the problem with NASCAR is a very expensive venture to get into. You know, you basically have to have a rolling automotive company to be able to be in NASCAR. That's basically what you have to have. So if you don't have some very deep-pocketed sponsors and you're really just the driver, it's not like you pay for any of this. You're on somebody's team they pay for. So this is well beyond NFL at this point right here. It's so cost prohibitive to get into. You basically got to have a multimillionaire who is going to select you to get into it. So that's going to be heavy, man. That's always going to be a barrier of entry there. And then of course there's an interest standpoint of it. So yeah, you are correct, right? But there's a lot that goes into that. This is way more than just playing hockey, getting the hockey pads and stuff. We're way beyond that when you get to NASCAR.
Way tremendously. That's true. Your sponsorship, for you to get into NASCAR, you have to have sponsorship. You don't have sponsorship, and that sponsorship has to have a certain amount of money, just like you just said. They don't have that money, you can't get in. You can't.
Brother, I mean, it's so involved. I mean, let's just say you got an angel sponsor, an angel investor sponsor. Let me just go ahead and let's just take the money aspect out the equation. You're going to need two full-time master mechanics. You're going to need a crew of full-time tire specialists. You're going to be going to Michelin all the damn time. You're gonna need an automotive engineer, because you're constantly making sure about the car's aerodynamics and everything else about it. You have to have more than one car. You have to have more than one. And you have to have facilities. So they actually have to have mobile facilities, because like for NASCAR, they pull engines on a regular basis. So y'all think about how much it costs on your car to get an engine pulled once. You've got this specialized engine that they use, and they pull engines on a regular basis. Hell, they've got viscosity specialists. In NASCAR, they have viscosity. For those of you who don't know, that's motor oil, for the oil viscosity. So they've got viscosity specialists that you have to have with your team. So, I mean, even if I gave you the money, do you have all these specialists lined up whose job is basically to maintain those cars on a regular basis? Like, just that alone, even if you got the money, can you get the personnel?
That's right. You're absolutely right, Jason. Absolutely right. And the seasonal stuff that you do too, in addition to that, off seasons, you still got to have people to be involved with that. That's true.
I mean, it's a big ass thing there in that regard. So, I mean, hey, you pays your way. We'll just take. That's why we start with basketball and baseball, man. It's just we're gonna start here. That's what we got to grip on, and we'll take over the rest of them when we get there. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Like I said, we ain't to NASCAR yet, but yeah, I mean, there's bigger stuff out there. Let's knock off baseball and let's knock off football and basketball first, and we'll work our way over to the tennis and golf and the NASCAR. We'll get there in a minute. We're gonna get there in a minute. Call America code 972. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Jason? This is Robert from Dallas.
All right, Robert from Dallas. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Jason, this is a great broadcast. I'm from here in Dallas. You know, I went to school at SMU. I know that you're familiar with Dallas, with the Dallas area. And while I was going to school, as you know, like SMU was the only school to have the death penalty. So I was thinking, like, because I played college basketball there. So I was thinking, well, they had the money to, pay all these players, do all this, signing guys left and right. What's stopping them from doing it now? And a lot of the times, like, and also you mentioned like how players can transfer in and out.
No, I didn't say that. I know folks talking about transfer portal and stuff like that. What I'm saying is that I think that's going to be the next fight. If they start paying them on a regular, if they start making them get paid like the NBA and NFL, that's what I think the next fight's going to be.
Yeah, because now they're having NIL wars, so like now there's no penalty for players to sit out. It used to be like if you wanted to transfer to school, you had to go sit out for a year, and then you had to wait. But now, guys can just get up and just leave, just like the coaches. And then a lot of these big time schools, they have NIL collectives. So like like big time programs like Alabama, LSU, Florida State.
Yeah, USC, Michigan, folks with deep pockets.
Exactly.
They're gonna be very tempted to do what baseball does: use these smaller institutions as their farm teams, and they're just gonna gangster their way through it. It's like, okay, you got a good or now there's where the HBCUs will find themselves at a disadvantage. If you have like Deion Sanders' son Shador, if you got one of them there and stuff, they're gonna be very, very tempted to gangster their way through it and do like they did with the Negro leagues in baseball. So yes, it'll be very tempting to gangster their way in, and I'm under no illusions. Okay, I do understand this, folks. I understand that technically speaking, that can have a deleterious effect on the HBCUs as far as sports is concerned. Jason, what's your response to that? My response is the HBCUs got bigger issues than sports. I would rather see the HBCUs do what they really do best, which is prepare doctors and lawyers, and they need to get them billions of dollars. Hopefully they won't. Now, y'all worrying about the athletes. You're sitting up here wasting money. What about the schools wasting money? Looking at you, Jackson State, but in Howard. But I would rather see the HBCUs. Remember, half like your doctors, black doctors and lawyers come from HBCUs. I would much rather see those schools focus like a laser beam. Like, will someone please tell me how many games the football team at MIT has won? Think about that for I'll wait, y'all. Tell me how many playoff games has the football team at MIT been to? I'll wait. I'll wait for y'all to name me that number. So my point is, I would rather see the HBCUs become like MIT. I'd rather see them become like Harvard Law. I'd rather see that. I'm okay with them being out of sports altogether because you've got so many other places that already handle that. I would rather see them become centers of academic excellence and focus like that on a laser beam. Because the bottom line is, look, like, for example, physically, I had the build. I could have played football. I've always had the shoulders. I always had the build for it and stuff. That wasn't the direction I went in. I went in a different direction for a number of different reasons. Could I have made it? Who knows? What I am saying is you have to count me now, whether you like it or not. I'm counted among the people who did not make it, even though I didn't even play. But I'm among the ones who didn't make it. Okay, so what are we doing about that? And what I'm saying is I would, even for the extent it could have a negative effect, I'd like to see them, focus on where their strengths are. Divest yourself of sports, focus on where your strength is, pour all your money on becoming academic centers of excellence in these other areas, and let these other schools slug it out over football and basketball.
Yeah. And there's one thing, there's one other thing, like one of the callers mentioned earlier, was that, when you go to like these big time schools, it's really like 80%, you're focusing on your sport, especially if you're a football or basketball player, the ones that bring in the big revenue. And these coaches and these academic counselors, they're basically steering you into the type of career that they want you to do. They want you to go to take like the easy route. They're trying to steer you to take these majors to where it's not time conflicting with the practice schedule or the practice schedule or the football schedule or anything like that. So they pretty much have their, when you go to these big institutions, like, you don't have time to make any money for yourself.
They set it up. You're there to come play football. You're there to play basketball. Mm-hmm. And everybody from the dean and the chancellor down, they all know who they're bringing in. The coaches don't recruit you in a vacuum. Everybody knows they're going. If you're a top prospect from high school, for example, everybody knows they're coming. Everybody knows they recruited you. Remember, the school has to sign off on the letter of intent. The coach doesn't just get to do that willy-nilly. Athletic director can't do that willy-nilly. That comes from the top down. So if you get a letter of intent, you sign with the school, everybody, the dean, like I said, I've talked to the pro athletes. When they bring them to when they bring them to the colleges and stuff, they go around and go meet everybody. So this doesn't happen in the vacuum. Uh-huh. And everybody knows the deal. If you're there to play football, It don't matter what your grades are because that's not what they brought you there for. And that's literally what it is. So my whole thing is, okay, if that's what it's going to be, then let it be what it's going to be is all I'm saying. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Want to take a moment here to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program. Brother Dinkins there on PayPal, thank you very much for your support. My man, Brother Jean, thank you very much. Mark B, hadn't seen you in a minute. Thank you very much for your support as well. Najee, Antonio, and everyone else here who's contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Thank you very much for your support here as well. I want to thank all of you, especially for that also. We've had a crazy program here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 410. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Eric from Waldorf, Maryland.
All right, Eric from Waldorf. What's on your mind?
Yeah, since you care about students and black students and all that stuff so much, and since you definitely voted in the last election, why don't you finally tell us who you actually voted for? No games, no bullshit.
Okay, I voted for your sister because she's the best. All right. Yes, sir. I voted for your sister because she's the one. She got talent. She's got drive. I don't know if she got a future, but call America 512. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Eric in Austin.
All right, Eric in Austin. What's on your mind?
Austin, Texas. Hey, Mr. Black, thanks for taking my call. You know, I'm interested to see, you know, some of the things that come about with, you know, these students that are being able to accept these monies because, you know, as we know the system, you know, they're all about chaos. They create this chaos because, you know, meanwhile, you know, there are other black students who are not getting accepted into these schools, and the acceptance rate is going down and down and down. But one thing I can say is this is a great, you know, them being able to receive this money is a great testament to support the position on reparations as well.
Yeah, that's the whole point I was making from the beginning there. Not just financially, but also philosophically. A bunch of folk telling us what we couldn't do and ain't going to happen, and these institutions are not going to loosen their grip. And I'm showing you a real-time campaign after decades of us simply remaining relentless. Yeah, they are going to drop it off. They sure are. Oh, yeah, one more thing. And I'm not an athlete. I didn't play in college sports. Most of y'all, most of us didn't. And yet we are supporting this for them. So this has a lot of parallels to that.
Oh, sure. And, you know, you have, I was in Vegas a couple weeks ago, and, you know, you got betting facilities everywhere where all of these monies are being funneled into, you know, college sports, every single sport there is, man. So it's like, we think there's a lot of money, but there's a lot more money out there that's being funneled into that. So they're making money everywhere, man. So it's like them getting this money is a direct correlation to why reparations is actually needed, because it's the same parallel. It's the same parallel, in my opinion. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Let me get caller from area code 860. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason Roll from Connecticut, Hartford.
Okay, brother, you got your hand over your phone. I hope your mama doesn't think you're up too late. See if you can take it off and try again.
No, I got the headset. I'll take it off real quick. Sorry about that, man.
Okay, y'all. He's calling us from the inside of a solo cup, so I'm not sure what's going on over there. I hope he's not being monitored.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's not what I was trying to do. But I wanted to bring up something, a point about these NIL deals, but also bringing off to the academic side. They use the image of academic students the same way that they use the athletes to attract these people to the institutions, and they don't pay those individuals. They also try to steal a lot of these children's and these youth and these other people's intellectual properties while they're up at these campuses as well. And they take it over and say, well, you come to our institution, these are what the products and the outcome of these individuals coming to this institution, if you get what I'm alluding to. And I really think that the academic students do need to get paid for their image and likeness as well. And that was some of the things I've talked about.
Yeah, I mean, certainly these are intellectual properties. And once again, this is an area that as athletes, hell, the general public, first of all, doesn't have a proper understanding of intellectual property and how it's leveraged. But these corporations do. These video game companies do. These media companies do. These multimedia companies do. So the general population is kept in the damn dark about everything. And so then these folks are out here creating revenue streams and you don't know nothing about it. Now, the white men behind the scenes are sitting up here setting these money machines up and they got their trophy wives and taking care of their kids and whatnot. And meanwhile, we're in the dark about these things existing. So like when Tiffany is talking about folks blowing their money and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, that's not really going to hold a lot of water with me because Sam Bankman-Fried, Elizabeth Holmes, I can go down the list. We can go down the list right here. If we don't get started being in the game of actually getting the revenue we're supposed to be getting to, all the rest of that stuff is moot.
And also, the aspect of that, how I wrote the paper about it was saying that people are talking about the student debt, rightfully so. This could be another avenue and a revenue for academic students that are in that type of space to lower down their student loans and stuff of that nature as well. The other thing I wanted to touch upon was the Title IX, because that's where all this falls into. Even when they talk about, one of the people mentioned about sexual assault case and stuff, all that falls into that, right? So one of the things I talked about is, in one of my papers for class was talking about when they do investigations, implementing a Karen type of policy to making sure that false accusations are punished, because they're not punished equally underneath the Title IX Act, and it should be, which is unconstitutional. So these are some of the things that I go to school for and we talk about, and those are some of the things I observed that when you're talking about this conversation,
90
I just want
seconds.
to contribute to.
No, I mean, look, if you make false statements in court, if you make a false filing to the IRS, you're going to find yourself in trouble. You're going to find yourself in trouble if you sit up there and do that. So if you treat these other things the same damn way, yeah, you'll see a lot less of that happening going on. So let us be under no illusions. As black men, there's always somebody trying to figure out a way to put you in a trick bag to make sure, okay, if worse come to worse, do we have a way to claw the money back from you and claw whatever you've got back from you? Since we can't beat you on the field, can we find another way to beat you? So you start getting the OJ treatment. So yeah, I mean, look, that's what I'm saying. That black men, I mean, all these Karens around the country and whatnot, they accuse black children of touching them and this, that, and the other. Then they go to school and the teachers are sexually assaulting them. But yeah, when you're black, you get accused of that kind of stuff all the time. What they haven't done is properly criminalize that. To say, you know what, if you even start making accusations, this is how we're going to deal with that. You see that happen, and you're going to see a lot of that. Well, if you see that happen and they actually follow through and prosecute, then you're going to see that dry up.
Well, that was some of the things I talked about, where the women who make these false accusations, they should get restitution. They should be barred from the campus. It was a couple of other things that was along those lines.
10 seconds.
They not get any professional degrees. Like, it's almost, they should get their own type of database due to the fact that this crime is sexual by nature. So that's kind of the heat that I want to give to these type of individuals that do these type of crimes from a legal sense, because they deserve to be behind bars. These men have lost their livelihood and a lot of things. And it's insane that these institutions are not even held responsible for not even looking out for the best interests of those students. They recruited those students.
That's very true. The institutions, when you sit up here and follow up on false accusations, and you should become a party to that. If you follow up on that and you're just going to, okay, we want to make sure we got the means to yank the rug out from under you later if we need to. It's like, okay, if you follow up with that, just remember, whatever she gets, y'all get. And by the way, that's the way that works out with these women. If they sit up here and, oh, the school, if it turns out that you did do something and the school didn't listen or whatever, it's like, oh, the school is liable. Well, okay, that should be the flip side of it as well. If I tell you I didn't do this and the school chimes in when it's like, oh, you should be liable too. Let's go ahead and pony on up here. So you make a very good point. If folk do that kind of thing and you actually punish it, you're going to see those numbers fall off. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. like I say here, folks, you're starting to see the walls come down. You're starting to see it crumble. It's been a long time coming, like Crosby, Stills, and Nash. But you're seeing it come through, and it's going to happen. We're going to be talking about the world before we broke the NCAA. Then we're going to be talking about the world after we broke it. And within our lifetimes, your kids are not going to be discussing college sports as a plantation where they went and worked for free and enriched Nick Saban so he can take care of his family and they live in lavish, and then he's got the damn gall to talk about what he doesn't like with the students. I ain't never liked Saban's ass. But we are coming to a time here where soon we'll be having a different conversation in this regard. And we will have to be ready for that. People, it ain't over. This is just the beginning of the beginning. Please understand, white supremacy is an organism that evolves. I have taught you this now going on 2 decades. It is an organism that evolves. It will not stop here. When we sit up here and conquer something on one hand and win a victory over here, they gonna try to figure out a way to put in some sort of mechanism that derails us and undermines us on another level. So please understand, we can't sit here and say, yay, we want to take a victory lap. No. When we do this, they're going to double back and try to figure out some way to undermine this, some way to neutralize this, some way to claw it back, some way to sit up here and put a roadblock and stop it later. So please understand, it's not over. Even when we get this done, it's not going to be over. They're going to try to find some way to switch it up. Which means that all that means is we have to stay on their necks if they start pivoting and making the move. Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. We see what you're doing. No, you're going to leave it alone. Oh, I didn't know y'all was watching. Yeah, we watching. Oh, I wasn't trying to move nothing over there. Oh, I just thought I lost my shoe over here in the corner. I was just looking for it, man. If you don't get you and your shoes and socks the hell up out of here. Everything is moving like it should be. We don't need you coming back up in here trying to re-engineer nothing. That's how we got in this mess in the first damn place, is you coming in and deciding what's going to be. No, we've had enough from you. That's a wrap. We done with that. So I want y'all to understand we're going to have to stay on top of that. It's the music business, the movie business, sports, law, you name it. We're going to have to stay on our job. We're going to have to stay vigilant. We must. We have to. We have to. Do not sit up here and start sitting up here trying to rest on your laurels and we're going to take it easy and, we're not going to do X, Y, Z. No. We are going to have to remain vigilant. We have to. So just understand, this is not the beginning of the final battle. This is just a continuation. Every time we make progress, they try to figure out how they're going to double back and undermine what we did and dismantle what we did. So we're going to have to just stay on this. We're going to have to stay on this. We're going to have to make sure that our kids and grandkids remember, by the way, there was a time when you didn't get paid for this at all. We had to change that. So we're going to stay on top of it. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button and click that yellow notification bell. You'll join us each and every time that we are here. If you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, 8 a.m. Coming, all available on DVD and streaming at blackchannelfilms.com. We're going to have some announcements and some changes that will be coming here as well. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. So we are going to have some announcements and changes coming here in the very near future. I'm looking forward to going ahead and keeping you all abreast of what's occurring there. I want to thank everyone who has tuned in to watch tonight's program live or recorded. Thank you to everyone here who has contributed on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, Black is the future and the future is relentless.